Hello, friends. Welcome. I'm so happy to see so many of you here. I know some of you will be joining us later on the playback, so welcome to all of you as well. Um, I am so thrilled to be sharing with you our event today, She's Launching was born out of a wonderful suggestion from a group mastermind that I'm in. I'm in a mastermind with a group called Shimoula. Liz from Shimoula will be speaking later today. And I was telling them how over COVID, all of you helped me write a meditation book, which came out today. I went on barnesandnoble.com and it was there, which is wild. So thank you to all of you, but also thank you to the ladies in Shimoula because they said to me, Jean Marie, you're a producer. What do you mean you're not having a launch event? Well, I'm not really comfortable having an event for myself. And I thought, well, who can we shine light on? And that's what we do here at Little Shadow Productions. We work to shine light on a variety of topics, wonderful people, and try to take up as little space as possible. So with that, I would like to just briefly read to you our land acknowledgement. While Little Shadow's goal to support all inhabiting Turtle Island, which is the planet Earth, we rest on the unceded land of the Canarsie peoples. We ask you to join us in acknowledging the Canarsie community, their elders, both past and present, as well as future generations. Little Shadow Productions also acknowledges that it is founded upon exclusions and erasures of many indigenous peoples, including those on whose land this company is located. This acknowledgement demonstrates a commitment to beginning the process of working to dismantle the ongoing legacies of settler colonialism. With that, I would also like to acknowledge our commitment to diversity and inclusion. And that includes making sure that people who financially are unable to join us can. We have a scholarship fund, but if you want to support an artist or a person who is interested in some of the conversations that we're having but is not financially able to join us, please go ahead and send me an email, which you can find on our website, and I will gladly help you donate to that fund. So thank you in advance for your support of that mission. Thank you all for being here. Please go and buy the book. And thank you always for being so supportive. So without further ado, I would like to introduce my friend and colleague, Jacquelyn Bell. Jacquelyn has recently launched Bell Arts Entertainment, and we couldn't be more excited for her. And she is growing her theater management career like it is nobody's business. This woman is an incredible producer, a wonderful activist, and a very important advisor in the theater community. She was one of the producers of the new musical Emojiland, which was Drama Desk nominated and was a New York Times Critics Pick. Jackie is blowing things up. She is a founder of the Broadway Advocacy Coalition. If you don't know that group, please check them out. Please follow them on social media and send them all the love in the world because they are speaking up. So thank you, Jackie, for joining us today. We can't wait to hear what you have to say, and I will preach whatever you say morning, noon, and night. Without further ado, Jacquelyn Bell.
Oh, good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much, Jean Marie, and congratulations on your launch today. Hello, everyone. Thank you for that awesome and warm welcome. My name is Jacquelyn Bell, but you can call me Jackie. So just a little bit about me. As Jean Marie was saying, I'm a commercial theater producer in New York City. My company, Bell Arts Entertainment, covers a wide array of different services. So we just launched a consultation service. We do theater. We have educational events and videos. Yeah, and we just kind of do everything in the entertainment world, from recording artists to theatrical artists and theatrical endeavors. So just a little bit about me. I have been doing theater since I can remember. I think I was cast as like a reindeer in 3rd grade or something. And I don't know, I kind of got the bug and it's never gone away since. But, you know, in that time, I've been very fortunate. I've been very fortunate to meet a lot of wonderful people and to really go on this journey of like self growth and exploration and finding my own voice and learning my worth and, you know, just sort of digging through like all of the various tunnels and breaking down barriers. It's like, you know, if there's a barrier and there's a wall, sometimes I can't climb over it and I can't knock it down. So I'll just dig a tunnel right underneath it and do whatever I can to sort of get to the next level. So, you know, I did a lot of thinking about what, you know, what I was going to bring to this conversation today. And I mulled it over, and I think what would be best is to sort of share with you all where I currently am at and sort of what's been on my mind lately. And it's this idea of getting out of your own way. So I first heard this term in 2019. I went to my mentor's house down in Baltimore, and I was just doing the normal thing. I just go to him and I just start kind of complaining. And I'm like, oh, what's wrong with my life? Blah, blah, blah. You know, I'm stuck. So finally he says to me, Jackie Bell, you need to get out of your own way. And I just looked at him completely confused because I was like, I don't know what that means. I have no idea what you're talking about, but okay, let's put a pin in that and I'll come back to it later. So of course, bring on a whole global pandemic and all of these things, you know, the entire theater industry basically shut down. Our shows on Broadway and off Broadway completely kaput, like gone. And suddenly I'm stuck with just this feeling of, oh my God, what do I do now? Because my entire self-worth and sense of accomplishment and like most of my entire being is wrapped around this idea of like my productivity and my work. You know, like I am my work, I am my career is gone. There's no theater. Like, what do I do now? And so I'll tell you, this year, this past year and a half has actually turned out to give a lot of blessings in so many ways. One of the ways was having the opportunity to sit still within myself and figure it out, you know, what it is that I want, like what's a priority in my life and who is a priority in my life, and focus on things such as family, such as healing, such as work-life balance. You know, I know Jean Marie, and she's a hustler. And so I'm just going to say, everyone on this call, we have all been led here for a reason, right? We all share, we are all cut from the same cloth, right? What I would like to impress on you as you learn and as you grow today and as you hear the various speakers, remember, just as Jean Marie said, we're going to be taking breaks. Take time for yourself. Take time to heal. Take time to rest so that when you go out there and you go hustle, you can do it at your utmost, like best self. So going back to what my mentor said about getting out of your own way, okay, what does that mean? Well, what I've learned during Corona is that it means different things for everyone. But what it means for me is that I have a habit of going all in for everyone, and I don't necessarily take the time for myself. I don't necessarily take the time to heal and prioritize myself and my own sort of happiness, right? And at the end of the day, what happens is that I'm so busy taking from my cup and giving, that I'm not realizing that I'm not replenishing my cup, right? It's like going down and down and down while I give. Well, in order for your cup to runneth over, it must be full. You must take care of yourself. You must do the things that bring you happiness and peace and joy as you go on the journey of success, as you go on the journey of fulfillment. Take that time for you. Prioritize you, your health, your physical and mental health, your happiness, your joy. Listen, you want to go tell your assistant or whoever, hey, I need 30 minutes. Take that 30 minutes, go run a bubble bath and do whatever it is that you need to do. Do whatever it is that you need to do, because once again, your cup has to be full in order for it to runneth over. So on that note, I thank you all. I think that today is going to be a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful event. Please carry on and move forward and absorb the stories that are coming to you, and the journeys and the expertise, because Jean Marie and team have done such a fantastic job of gathering these brilliant minds together. And we have tapped into this collective community. And this is like forming a mastermind together. And so for that, I applaud you, Jean Marie. I applaud everyone on this call this morning. And wherever you may be in the world, I thank you and I wish you many blessings. And just remember, you take care of yourself. You take care of yourself. There's a little sign in the back. I want you all to take notice for a minute. Know your worth and then add tax. Take care, everyone.
Thank you, Jackie. You're awesome. You're such an inspiration. I was just saying to Jackie before this is something that's been coming up on a lot of my coaching calls lately, where people are saying, I don't know what to charge. I don't know what to do. You know what? Know your worth. So thank you, Jackie. We needed to hear that. We're going to move into a brief greeting from our dear friend Fergie Philippe at Hamilton, and then we're going to take a little break.
Hello all, my name is Fergie L. Philippe. I am currently an actor, director, writer, puppeteer, all-around creative, currently doing work in Hamilton on Broadway as the roles of Hercules Mulligan and James Madison. And I'm so pleased to be here to greet you all to the She's Launching event as hosted by Jean Marie Keevins and Little Shadow Productions. I'm a big time and almost long time supporter now of both of those entities. And it's such an exciting event that we have here today, celebrating and uplifting female entrepreneurship, something that I know all of us here are passionate about. And I hope you will also take the time to check out Jean Marie's new book, 52 Simple Weekly Meditations to Guide You Through Life's Transitions. I can speak for myself and say that Jean Marie's meditations are something that I look on frequently and I'm able to internalize and absorb. And I believe that they will be crucial to everyone. So please take the time out to check her new book, and hopefully it'll change your life the way that it's honestly changed mine. So once more, I just wanted to say hello, welcome, thank you for being here, and of course, thank you for having me. Okay, bye-bye.
Hey everyone, welcome back to She's Launching. We are so happy to have you here today. We are celebrating female entrepreneurship. Thank you to everybody who's here celebrating with us. I always get little messages when I do things that are female empowerment, where when men are a part of it, people are like, what's up with that? And I would like to speak towards that for 1 second and say that without men, there would not be change in this avenue. So we have brought together some incredible gentlemen who are advocates for women. So thank you to Fergie Philippe for sending his message earlier today. And now, just a reminder, you may need to raise or lower your volume based on your needs. So now, without further ado, I would like to introduce two incredible musicians. The first, Kymberly Stewart, is a dynamic singer-songwriter, musician, and actress from Los Angeles, California. She literally just ran in the door to be with us today. So thank you, Kymberly, for that. She has two children's albums out there that you should absolutely be getting your hands on. You can find all of the information about Kymberly on our website and on her website as well. I would like to note that she is a voting member of the Recording Academy, as well as an active member of Family Music Forward, an organization that amplifies and supports Black artists, children, and communities, and the Children's Music Network. So be sure to check them out. Kymberly also has her own YouTube channel that she launched in 2020. So this woman is fierce. So we are excited to have her here today. Additionally, with Kymberly, I am so pleased to introduce my friend and colleague, Amelia Robinson, who is a Brooklyn-based performer and educator who facilitates collaborative music-making experiences that inspire positive change and authentic learning, social emotional learning. I can tell you for myself, when you see one of Amelia's shows, everybody is watching and everyone is engaged. She has currently been developing her new messy music curriculum and has launched a brand new album. So we are so excited for all of that. And last night, Amelia held a disco rain party to celebrate the launch of her new video with Uncle Jumbo that came out today. So check it out. Without further ado, Amelia Robinson and Kymberly Stewart, thank you for being here, ladies.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks, Jean Marie. Hi, Kim.
Hi.
I'm really excited that I get to chat with you. I mean,
Me
we
too.
chat a lot, but any additional excuse.
That is very true. That's true. Well, I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, I really wanted to well, thanks Jean Marie and everyone for putting this
Yes,
on and
thank you.
honoring all these incredible entrepreneurs, female entrepreneurs and male allies, or however you want to identify as an ally for this cause. I think it's great to just have a chance to share what everyone's doing and hear all these different projects across the board. And I'm delighted to be here and share about this new album that you are also featured on, which is part of the reason I wanted you to join me today. Yeah, I could share a little bit about the album first. The album's called Let It Out, and it is really feeling the emotion, whatever we have inside. It's really an album about emotions, and it helps all ages identify, accept, and process emotions, sometimes difficult emotions, often difficult emotions, in positive and affirming ways.
Yeah.
So there's like there's 15 tracks on this album that offer, they're like disco inspired, hence Disco Rain. And they offer like coping mechanisms to help in a fun, playful way deal with things like anger. There's a song about punch a pillow, breathing back to the breath, understanding and accepting one another, and agreeing to disagree. There's a lot of music in here that has come out of conversations, even Kim, that you and I have had around a lot of the work, like the pandemic, and also like the aftermath of George Floyd's murder, like all of this stuff that also, you know, we can talk in a minute also about Family Music Forward, the collective we're involved with. But a lot of that has influenced this music. So yeah, and Disco Rain is a track of the many collaborations on this album. There's your song, which we're going to talk about in a minute, and then Disco Rain is featuring my friend Uncle Jumbo. And last year we had a song called Put Your Mask On, which is a cover of a song I did called Put Your Pants On. So I'm teaming up with Uncle Jumbo again. And I think they'll put in the chat a link, or maybe I think they're going to actually show the video at the end of our interview for Disco Rain, which came out today. And the album itself comes out September 29th, and will be available anywhere.
Awesome. Yeah, that's great. You know, I think this project is amazing, and it's so needed right now, and it's all the things that you just spoke, that you're speaking on, you know, dealing with emotions, our feelings, knowing how to process them and how to react and respond in appropriate ways. That's so important. And that is really, those are the fundamentals that really go with early childhood education. I coming from I have a background in preschool, and those are all the things that we deal with. You know, a lot of times we, as I just in my experience as a teacher, with that age group, you get a lot of times parents want to know, well, when are they going to start reading? When are they going to start writing? How this, when are they going to counting? And those things are really, that's not the foundation. It really is dealing with the social, emotional, those domains, like teaching kids just how to, you know, if they're really upset, they need to learn how to say, I'm upset, instead of going and hitting somebody, like your son punch a pillow. Those things are really important. And, you know, and I used to hear all the time, it was kind of like this mandate throughout amongst teachers. If a child cannot sit still long enough for 5 minutes, they're not gonna be able to sit still, you know, for a half an hour when it's time, the time comes from them to when academics come into play. So those things are really important. And I feel like you know, children, they have needs, and they have feelings, they have emotions, and they want to express that. And it's so important to listen to them and to give them that opportunity, to give them the tools how to do it. And this album that you're doing is so amazing because it has all those tools and those coping mechanisms. And I think like early childhood educators would really benefit from it. So it's a great thing. And I'm just really happy and honored to be a part of it. My song, how does your body feel? That's, you know, all those things, just they kind of just line up and they come into play when you're dealing with children, you know. So
Yeah, and I appreciate, you know, you have that knowledge and experience in early childhood, so you really understand that. And our song, the song that we worked on together, the How Does Your Body Feel, like that is a big part of that identify the emotions component. And we spoke a lot about how to you know, take from an educational perspective, how can this song be used in the classroom? And that's part of the messy music method that I'm rolling out after this album, kind of offers educators an opportunity to implement like the song, use the song as a tool in the classroom to help kids regulate or figure out who they are and how they fit into the classroom culture with whatever they bring from their family and their background. So the How Does Your Body Feel song,
I'm sorry.
I had created this body detector thing, right? It's just kind of like a magnifying glass. I have it in the other room, but it's like, and you put it over your body and you kind of like isolate your shoulder, and like you kind of just zone out the rest of the world and just focus on one little part of your body. And the song is really kind of being curious about how to identify. It's like, how does your shoulder feel today? And we can offer some vocabulary around it. Or does it feel like shruggy? Does it feel like wiggly, you know, and allowing like kids to come up with their own language to identify their feeling and the sensation, their affect. They don't know like what affect is, but they can figure out like, oh, I'm feeling like jumpy today. And then that's just getting the words and the vocabulary to describe the feeling, I think, is the first step, and also finding it inside your body. So I love that song for that reason. Also, the song is like amazing because you're on it.
Yeah, thanks. No, it's that bass line. Oh, you know, I remember the first time you asked, when you first reached out to me about singing it, and you sent me the track, and I'm a big I love bass. And I love, that's like my favorite instrument, even though I don't play it. But I'm telling you, for me, what really makes a song amazing is a cool bass line. And so that song has a really popping bass line. So yeah, it's fun. It's a lot of fun. It reminds me of when I was growing up in the 80s, and we had the Schoolhouse Rock, and how they would they took, you know, educational aspects and put it to music, and then they would make the video around it, and it was fun. It was really, it pulls you in. It has that, for me, it's nostalgic of, you know, when we were kids.
Yeah. Oh, I love that. I love
Yeah.
that. I mean, I think a lot of family music is kind of breaking those grounds into finding new ways to do it and speak to the next generation. Because of course, like we get nostalgic about the Schoolhouse Rock or, you know, Free for You and Me or whatever it was. There were kind of like these few albums that were for families directly. And now, you know, our work in Family Music Forward is to kind of amplify and elevate like a lot of artists of all backgrounds, all races, like especially Black artists who are underrepresented in the family music field. You know, it's a predominantly white and kind of male space. You know, the people that we see continuously on the top of these lists do not represent the children that exist in the world. So
Right. Yeah, the children who are watching. That is so true.
yeah.
Yep. I'm sorry. I didn't want to
No,
cut
go
you off.
ahead.
Go
I
ahead.
mean, take it.
No. Yeah, I think that is so important. That kids see, they need to, when they need to see representation of what their everyday lives are. And so for me, it's really important. My desire is to really connect with the African American community and provide music for them, and so that these kids can see, oh, okay, so she looks like me. I can identify with her. She looks like me. We have, there's this connection there. And not just with Black kids, like all races, kids, every child should see, if they're connecting with the world through the TV. I mean, they spend so much time watching TV. They're, through all these streaming services. It's important that they see people who look like them. I really believe that, and I feel like we're coming a long way. We've come a long way since maybe 20 years ago, and we are starting to see more people of color in the in mainstream. And I think that's because of the new generation, that are the people who set the precedent before. They're moving on, which was mainly white male. Well, you have a lot more people of color coming into the writing rooms, into the networks. But I feel like we still have a long way to go, and I'm here as long as I have breath in my body. I'm gonna be there, helping and making sure it happens. Yeah. Just, I think children need to see people who look like them, but also others too. It's important to, I mean, this world is such a big place, and most of us, that we get such a small portion of. We're only given a small portion. We're spoon fed. We take what is given to us, and it starts in the home, And so I feel like it's so important to show children something different, different cultures. And I don't know if I'm,
Absolutely.
yeah.
No, I mean, I think curiosity, like how can we teach children to be curious about the differences? There's a track on my album called I Want to Know, also with Uncle Jumbo. It's like, I want to know how you see the world. I want to know, I know what life is like through my eyes, through my ears, like through my nose, but what's it like for you? Like, how can we kind of facilitate and educate? Even adults need to learn that first, almost, so that children can then, we need to model that behavior. But being curious about it. And I also want to mention that, Kim, you're on this album I co-produced with Aaron Nigel Smith and Shine and the Moonbeams, called All One Tribe. And it's a collection of 24 Black artists, all sharing your perspectives on what life is like. And it's astounding, the variety of styles. It challenges, the norm of what we think music can be, Black music can be, or family music can be, because there's so many styles represented. There's like, I mean, I would love for you to share.
Yeah, that's true. So that is a very good point. Because even with Black artists and Black music, it's just assumed there's this one style of Black music, which is R&B and funk and soul. Hey, get down, and that's my style. That's my preference. That's what I grew up on. But even within, the Black culture and the Black community, there are still so many different there are different pieces and offerings that we bring. And in this, when we had the first we had the celebratory meeting after we'd done the whole album, and one of the artists, Tommy Solati, he's from the Alphabet Rockers, he said, well, I can never say that Black people don't play the ukulele, because Nikki, another artist, her song is fully ukulele. And that was, for me, that had an impact on me. And here's why. Because a lot of times when you hear children's music, it's either someone playing a guitar or a ukulele, and it's very kind of, four chord, C, F, G, back to C, and then you may be of the opinion, well, okay, you usually mainly see non-Black people doing that. You don't see mostly the Black people. We're either gonna be rapping or we're gonna be putting it over some hip hop beats or very R&B-ish, that genre. But and you can develop the idea, well, that's what Black people do. We make this kind of music. But then we have all these artists coming, and we have we got a ukulele on there. We've got some country. Reese Palmer, she has a country song. And so for me, this was a personal experience for me. I had to change my perspective and change the way I think even about my own people, my own culture. No, we're not just in this one genre. We do all kinds. We have all kinds of offerings. And even in myself, I like country. I like all kinds of music, and I grew up on gospel. My niche, I think, is jazzy gospel. That's my style. That's what I grew up on. But I love Broadway. I love writing songs that kind of have like a theatrical theater musical feel to it. So the point that I'm trying to make here is I have a tendency to go off on a tangent. So just bring me back if I do. Just be like, hey, Kim, come on back. For me, it's just being open and seeing that as people, there are so many parts of us, and we just don't know it because maybe out of fear or out of what we've been conditioned to think just by our environment in our home. We're told, well, this is what we do. This is what we do. And this is what you do. So you kind of just take that, and you, based on just that one little perspective, you kind of create your world around that. But I'm here to say, let's challenge those thoughts. Let's challenge that thought process and that perspective, and say, hey, there's a lot of us out here, and we have a lot to offer. And also, I wanted you were saying, how do we teach kids? How do we respond to kids being curious, or how do we teach?
Well, we teach responsibly, and integrate curiosity into our pedagogy.
Yeah, I feel like as adults, just overall parents, educators, anyone who has a responsibility of a child, I really think we need to educate ourselves first, and we need to go out there and explore our own curiosities and be open to things that are different, and be willing to maybe shot those teachings that we had growing up that maybe were not the best. From my personal experience, I grew up in a household where my mother was God. We went to church every Sunday, but God came home with us, and it was my mom. And she was, this is this, and that is that, and ain't no other way. And she had this one saying, she would say, I know I'm right, and I don't need no amen. So growing up with that, I had a very closed-minded perspective, if you will, and I, to the point where anything that was different from what I had been taught was right, I completely I didn't receive it. I was very closed off to it, and it took a lot of experiences in my life and growing up, and till I got to the point where I had to realize, you know what I'm being taught is not aligning with what I am seeing in the everyday world. I can no longer reconcile these teachings to my personal experiences. And so I had to just say, you know what, I want to be open, and I want to learn more about others. And just because it's different from mine doesn't make you wrong. It doesn't make them wrong. And I'll end with this. When I was teaching preschool, there were two little kids in my class. There was a little girl and a little boy. The little girl had two moms, and the little boy had two dads. And I would say, I wasn't really aware, but I was just in the habit of saying, okay, I don't think mommy would be really happy if she knew you were behaving this way. Just general, oh, mommy and daddy are not gonna like it if I have to tell them that so and so is not listening, or oh, mommy and daddy are gonna be so proud to know that you had a good day. And this little boy, when he said to me, I don't have a mommy. And it just stopped me, and it made me think. And I knew this all along. I knew, because I know who his parents are, and I apologize. I think it's important for adults to apologize to children, and adults need to be able to admit that when they've made a mistake, or And I said, I'm so sorry. And so I changed my language. And so I started just saying, like, when I was speaking directly to him, I would make sure I say, well, daddies, or I just your parents,
Mm-hmm.
and I went from saying like mommy and daddy to parents, and then I expanded it, the grown-ups in your lives who love you very much, that in this particular setting, that's what was needed, so yeah, I think it's so important for adults to be open to learning and just tolerating and respecting. You don't have to take on certain beliefs. You don't have to embrace them, but you can learn about them and just
shift your narratives. Like,
exactly, yeah.
As you're saying this, like, I think there's so much growth that happens all the time, and like pivoting that we need to do as adults, especially. Well, any adult, even if we work with kids or not, like the transformation that happens in our evolution. And Disco Rain, I mean, that's what this song is about. It's about reframing narratives. It's about learning things that, you imagine are one way. Like, I relate to that. I grew up in a kind of like there were fixed mindsets. There was a lot of like, this is right and this is wrong. And there wasn't a lot of like, it was very binary. And so in my evolution also, I've learned to kind of wash away, and this song is like cleansing, washing away those old stories that kind of held you in a space that held you back. And so I mean, maybe this is a good segue into sharing the video, because I hope maybe we should do like a little, like, sometimes in the lesson plan, because with Messy Music there's a lesson plan for each song. We can just give everyone out there a little cleanse. Kim, you want to do this with me?
Sure.
Let's just like everyone wash away. We're gonna wash away whatever you need to let go of today, and be open to a new way of thinking, a new way of talking, a new way of relating. And maybe we just segue into this.
Let us segue. Me either. All right.
Wow. Well, Kim, thank you so much for coming and talking to sharing your words and yourself, your soul. I love you. I love you so much.
I love you back.
To like share this whole experience with you. And I can't wait to everyone out there. Please go get this album when it comes out. I'm gonna switch my screen because you can see. It's gonna that's the link on there that you can listen to it. And the song that Kim and I are on is called How Does Your Body Feel? But we're going to listen to Disco Rain right now, I think. Thank you. Thanks.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Jean.
Let the rain wash over you. Let the rain take you to somewhere new. Let the rain wash over you. Let the rain take you to somewhere new.
Your whole life underneath and on it, dodging all of the raindrops falling, gripping tight to your umbrella. But let me tell you that there's something very special when that water hits your face.
Let the rain wash wash over you. Let the rain take you to somewhere new. Let the rain wash over you. Let the rain take you to somewhere new.
It's like a present that you wait so long to open. There's a path of possibilities and you should get to going. That's when you grow and turn in a new leaf. A new way illuminates when that water hits your face.
Open your heart. Open your mind. Open your heart. What will you find? Open your heart.
Open up, you gotta open.
Open your mind. Open your heart. What will you find?
That's how you know you're alive. You got your way, I got mine. But all along the whole time, we're capable to combine.
Let the rain
So let that water hit your face and wash away all that complicates.
Let the rain wash over me. Let the rain help to set us free. Let the rain wash over me. Let the rain help to set us free. Let the rain help to set us free.
Woo! Thank you, ladies. Oh my gosh, that was so fun. Thank you both, Amelia and Kimberly, for sharing your thoughts, sharing your wisdom. You're both obviously beautiful spirits. Everybody get out there and buy their music. Wow. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're going to move into talking with Victoria Medina. Forgive me, we're not talking with Victoria Medina. Victoria Medina is going to be offering a masterclass. You're getting a free masterclass, y'all. Okay. So Victoria Medina is the founder of Image Power Formula. They are working to empower people with their on-camera presence. So many of us are on camera right now, and that's not where we normally live and spend our space or spend our time. So Victoria is working with people from actors to executives and anybody in between and around to help them with their on-camera presence. She is a New York City photographer, videographer, and filmmaker. She is an off-Broadway writer, producer, and director. Victoria is a powerhouse. Please, please, please enjoy this free masterclass. And if you have any questions or thoughts, please go ahead and put them in the chat. And when we get to the end of the class, Victoria will do her best to answer your questions. If she does not get to them then, as we go into the break, she'll answer them in the chat. So no one will be left out. So thank you so much again to Amelia and Kimberly. And without further ado, Victoria Medina's Image Power Formula Masterclass. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Victoria Medina, and welcome to Image Power Formula Supercharge Your Online Image Masterclass. I want to begin by thanking Jean Marie and everyone at Little Shadow Productions for creating this amazing event she's launching. I am so thrilled to be a part of it. Now, and what I want to do is share with you how to embrace who you are in front of the camera. Still images, video live and recorded, video conference calls, because I know a lot of people are not really comfortable doing video conference calls right now. We're going to talk about essential technical elements involving in taking photos and videos, how to communicate effectively, and how to have fun. Seriously, how to have fun in every camera-ready moment. And so I begin with just sharing a little bit about some housekeeping that we're going to do today. And the first thing is that I really want you to think about the joy of being here. Take a step back, sit back, listen, turn off all your phones, turn off all distractions. This is something that you clearly want to learn about. So give your time over to it, because I know that this is something that is really going to help your work as much as it's helped mine. There will be a replay, but take notes, because sometimes we remember things a little bit more when we write them down, but there will be a replay. So however it's comfortable for you to learn and absorb the information, that's there for you. I may not have time to answer questions at the end, but I will leave my email and contact information so you can get in touch with me. So if you have any questions, write them down. If we can get to them at the end, great. If not, definitely get in touch with me. And I'm going to have a special surprise for you. So I'm thrilled that you're here. Just to share with you a little bit about me, as I said, I'm the creator of Image Power Formula. I'm a coach and consultant to clients, and I help my clients transition from being incredibly nervous to maybe just not comfortable to perhaps you are comfortable and want to be a little better, ultimately to go from wherever you are to shining on camera. And in every camera ready moment, still video conferencing, and if any other device that comes up. I am also an off-Broadway writer, producer, director of the play One Nation, One Mission, One Promise. And I began my career as a New York City professional videographer, photographer, published in the New York Times, Forbes, the Daily News, and other publications. And I have performed in various theater productions in New York, London, and Vancouver. So why do I share this with you? Well, it is specifically because I have been both behind and in front of the camera. So I know exactly what it's like to be nervous and needed to learn how to take those skills of being a performer and using that to help myself to be on camera. And so all of those strategies and techniques that I have learned in my life, that's what I want to share with you today. So the one thing that I really want to stress more than anything else is that we're going to focus on 5 foundational strategies that you're going to learn today. And the first 2 are the most important 2. You get these 2 down, it will help in every other. If that's all you do today, it will help you. You will see changes immediately in your on-camera presence. And that's number 1. The first thing is presence, because if you don't have presence, it is the energy. It is really important. I'm going to get into more detail. So we're going to talk about presence. We're going to talk about essential lighting, because without lighting, there are no images. We're going to talk about effective storytelling, because every image is a story. And then we're going to go into a short intro about branding. And then, of course, putting it all together with showtime. So one thing that I want to share, and this is really important, and it is, why do people fail? And I want you to say right now, I want you to write down that whatever phrase it is that you say, that I never say, I never like being on camera. I don't like how I look on camera. I'm not comfortable on camera. I never take good photos. Write that down and then put up at the top, I will never say this again. And the reason why you want to do that is because you are going to focus on moving forward. Once you can acknowledge what your concerns are, it is a lot easier to then move forward. So for example, if you look in the mirror, it's going to look different than when you're on camera, because of the lighting, because of the lens, because of the type of camera, because of maybe how you're posing. Any of these elements could change how you look. And what you want to do is not take those moments where you're so uncomfortable that you're never going to get in front of a camera again, because we all are going to have those moments. But the more you practice this and the more you change your mindset, the more you could put that away. So I want you to write that down. So then this way, when you have those uncomfortable moments, you're never going to go backwards. You're always going to move forward. And so because of this, I'll just share with you, my clients have some really surprising results where they've gone from being nervous to being comfortable, where they've gone from not liking how they look to sharing with me that they have images that they just love and love sharing. And then also the really great thing is where they see that their business is scaling, because that's what you may want to do for your business, or they've taken a great photo with their family, whatever it is that works for you. And also having the opportunity to get more leads, more engagement. So this can help you in a variety of different areas. So we want to change your mindset. And that's what these tips and strategies are going to be, because you want to embrace who you are on camera. You don't want to compare yourself with anybody else ever again. You want to have confidence on and off the camera. And why I say you don't want to compare yourself, because there is nobody in the world like you. That's the bottom line. So there is absolutely no one in the world like you. So you don't want to compare yourself to anyone ever. And you want to just be you. It's what somebody said to me recently. You want to be you. You want to be yourself. And that's what you want to be on camera. So let's go. Let's begin by developing presence. And presence is essentially, you don't want to think about the past. You don't want to think about the future. You want to be in this moment, just as I am with you right now. You want to be completely and entirely in this moment. You see that with athletes. You see that with an actor who somebody will applaud them and say, oh my God, you were great. And they were like, I don't know what I did, because they were so present. That's how you want to be on camera. You want to be present because you're communicating. A camera is just another form of communication. So I want you to think about that, because when you're thinking about yourself and what you look like and how you feel, you're not being present, because you're thinking about your past. Because if you think about how you look and you don't like how you look, then you're thinking about how you looked in the past. What you want to do is be present today. And actually, I would love to encourage you to please create an album on your smartphone that has photographs of you where you look good, because that's part of that mindset change. And I want you to introduce you to J.R. Martinez. This is J.R. Martinez when he entered the service. And this is how he is today. And he says, your path in life is decided by your own ability to adapt and overcome. And J.R. is an Army veteran. He's a burn survivor. He is an actor, a motivational speaker, a New York Times bestselling author, Dancing with the Stars winner. And the reason why I'm sharing him with you is because he cannot compare himself to anybody. He is doing him. And I know the ladies might say otherwise, okay, he's a man, he could get away with it. Well, Taria Pitt is someone who will actually object to that, because she is now also a burn survivor, and she loves to make cool stuff that helps people to be happy. Isn't that amazing? And she is also a burn survivor. And what I want to stress, because both of them really went through a lot when they were in the hospital. And J.R. Martinez, mostly with his face. For Taria Pitt, it was over 65% of her body that was burnt. They both went through grueling times in the hospital. And they did not even think about what their life would be like in the future. But the one thing that they did decide is that they were going to live their best lives no matter what. So they're on camera. So if you have any concerns about what you look like, let them be an inspiration to you. So how do you develop presence? And I'm sure I want you to think about the images where they're candid, where you really love how you look. And the reason why I want you to look at those, because those are the moments when you're present. And when you start to think about how you look, you're no longer present, because you're going introvert. You want to be external in your look. So these are two people who are not present, right? The woman on the left, she's definitely checked out, but the woman on the right, she's actually bored. So there is some presence in her. She does have some energy coming through. So it's like, if I just you feel that? I kind of like my energy just stopped. I'm not present there. I'm not with you. So how you develop presence is you want to think about who you're with. What are you doing? Why are you taking this photo? Who is the photo for, and who are you communicating with at the moment? So for example, you're at a party and somebody says to you, oh, let's take a photo together. And the moment, and that's when you're going to have that knee-jerk reaction and you're going to be like, no, I don't know how I look. I don't know this. I don't know that. No, now what you're going to do, let's say you're at a party and you're celebrating whoever's really close to you, best friend, spouse, somebody you love. Now you get to think about you're having a good time, why you're at the party, who is this party for? You're going to take a photograph where you're going to shine because you're going to focus on having a good time and thinking about your friend. You're not going to think about, oh my God, I don't look good on camera. You're going to think about who you're with. You're always going to project out, because the more you project out, the less you become internal, the more you're going to create those wonderful images, because then you're going to just be you. So I want you to really think about that. And these are 4 people who were so present. Lucy Liu was tired after an award ceremony, but she really wanted to show that she was happy with it. The next person, he wanted to just share that he was a business professional. The next person, the woman on the left, wasn't as dressed up as the woman on the right. And she was like, I'm still going to enjoy this moment. The woman on the far right, I really want you to appreciate that she also wanted to show her work. This is her. She's an artist, and you could see that right away. So you could also think about using props in your images, like Lucy Liu's using a prop where it's an award, or the woman on the far right. And it was great photographing her because she loved her artwork. So she was really able to come alive. And the 2 in the middle, the young man who I photographed, he wanted to show people that he was a business professional. So he had his backdrop in that location so he could feel it. And then the 2 women on the right, they were just having fun. So these are all areas where you can just be present. So as I say, if you're at a party, any event, somebody taps you on the shoulder and says, hey, let's take a picture. You're going to think about who's the party for? What does this person mean to you? What does the event mean to you? What's happening at the moment? And focus on that. And the more you focus on that and being present, the more your images are just going to fly and have that magic in it. So that's what you always want to do. You want to bring your experience to the moment. So now let's talk about essential lighting, because lighting is everything. And so I want you to focus on, there are 3 types of lighting. There's natural lighting, there's flash, and there's studio. But I want you to focus on natural and flash lighting. So what you're going to do is you're going to start taking images by just standing in front of your window. It doesn't have to be sunlight. It just has to be light. And it could be a cloudy day. It could be really wonderful, especially because then you don't have to squint. So either a sunny day or whatever the natural lighting is, take images in front of your window or go outside if you don't have the best. The next thing I want you to do is I want you to take out the instructions to your smartphone, and I want you to study the features, because the wonderful wisdom about putting the camera on your smartphone is because, as I said, it is just another form of communication. But the manufacturers also want you to look fantastic. So they have wonderful features that they've created for you. There's studio lighting, there's natural lighting, there's spot lighting. You could put your phone on a timer, so then you could take the time to position yourself. You can do portrait where you could blur the background. There's all these wonderful features that I want you to experiment with, so you could see what are the best features that work for you. So when you're at home, when you're outdoors, once you study this and you recognize it, then when you're with other people and you're out enjoying yourself, it will become second nature for you to take amazing, amazing images. So let's talk about storytelling. So again, someone comes to you and they tap you on the shoulder and they say, okay, let's take a photo. Now, as I said before, if you're thinking about you're at a party, you're at an event, that's the story that you're telling. I'm telling a story to you right now in how I'm sharing with you the stories that I have on strategies and techniques and tips for you to take images more comfortably, for you to shine on camera. That's a story. So instead of focusing on yourself, which takes you out of the moment, and you focus on the story, that's where your shine is, because every image has a story. And you know those images where you stop and you just want to see, who is this person? What is this person saying to me? Or in a video where you're watching them and they're telling you a story, why are they holding your attention? So you always want to think about the story that you're telling and communicating to your audience. And that's how you're always going to reconnect. So the thing to also think about is, you could also, when you think about these things about how you're going to tell a story, I want you to take a deep breath. Always take a deep breath before you take an image. And that'll also help you to feel, to drain away that nervousness and be more connected. Then finally, there's branding. So branding, for example, if you look behind me, there is my logo. So whenever you're out and about, when you're taking an image at home or outside, look behind you. Is the background consistent with the story that you want to tell? Is it consistent with the image that you want to give? So for example, if you're a chef and you're a vegan chef, but behind you is a fast food restaurant, that may not be the best place for you to have your brand. If you're going to be talking about positive things at home, and you're a consultant and you're coaching and you're a life coach and you want to talk about positive things, but books behind you might be, wars in history, you may want to change that. So branding is about looking at what's behind you. Then the next thing is showtime. And I really want you to think about how you could be ready for your close-up. So I want you to think about presence. I want you to think about your lighting. I want you to think about your storytelling and your branding. And most importantly, I want you to take the time to put it on a timer, or to get a tripod. But if you could put it on a tripod, then you could effectively take the image and really tell the story. And I want you to just practice and practice. And I want you to have fun. And then I want you to take your best images and put them in that folder I told you about earlier, and then move on from there. So there is so much more to learn, right? There's lighting, there's studio lights, there's clothes, there's colors, there's makeup. I'm just giving you the sheer foundation here, but there's so much more to learn. That's why I would love for you to be in touch, because there's a lot more. There might be questions that you want to ask. Share with you what some other people have said. People have said that they've worked in advertising, that they were uncomfortable, and this helped them out. And I'm going to leave this for you so you could read it on the replay, because I want to make sure that I end this in a proper time frame. And the next thing that I want to talk about is, actually, I'm going to play this video for you.
Hi, my name is Eduardo Mengue. I have a project called the Finance Formula. I have 2 online courses where I teach people how to organize their finances. It's called the Finance Formula, and how to invest. It's called the Investment Formula. And over 300 students have already taken my 2 courses. I know Victoria. I started working with her when I took the Image Power Formula course with her. And before I started working with the Image Power Formula, I was very nervous and I wasn't really sure how my image looked. And that was something really important in my line of business, because I need to inspire confidence, authority, and I need to engage my students, especially because the subjects that I teach are somewhat sensitive and at many times scary and complicated. Victoria has a lot of experience, so she's pretty much seen everything, so she can help you with virtually everything related to cameras. That was really helpful. So lighting, head positioning, poses, colors, facial expression. I use the image power formula technique all the time. So looking into the camera as if it's my friend, smiling with my eyes, where I position myself, all of these were great tips that I learned through the various modules of her course. I would definitely recommend the image power formula. Definitely recommend it. It's quick, it's easy to follow, it's very straight to the point. So she gives a lot of real life examples that really, really help. And anything else I'd like to add, I just wish I had met Victoria before and I had taken this course earlier.
Here's what I want to share with you, because I'm definitely running out of time here. And I hope you were able to take these 5 foundations, which is being present is the first thing. And remember, when you're present, you're not thinking about the future. You're not thinking about the past. And essential lighting, branding, storytelling. So one thing that I would love to do, because there's so much to share with you, and you might have so many questions, is there's a link. I want to offer you a free 30-minute private individual consultation with me. And then we could go over this in far more details. You could tell me what you've already started using, what's working for you, what isn't working for you. And this will give you an opportunity for me to get to know you better, answer your questions, and talk about what are some of the nuances that are really concerning you. So I want to just have a quick review. So what did you learn today? You learned about being present. Basically, you don't want to think about the future. You don't want to think about the past. You want to be completely present in the moment. And that's where the magic comes out. Because when you're present in the moment, that is just everything. That's the first thing. The second thing that you want to do is you want to really focus on your lighting. So you got the natural lighting. And you start with natural lighting, and you could even have a reflector if that helps. You could get a whiteboard that could help with your lighting. And the next thing is you do the natural lighting outdoors or indoors. The third thing is you're going to really study all the features on your camera and play with the flash. You'll put it on a timer so you could position yourself. If you can, and you have a tripod, use a tripod. So then you could really be relaxed and play and try different things. And then the next thing is, of course, there's going to be branding. You're always going to look behind you to make sure that what is behind you is consistent with the story that you're going to tell. And every image, every video, you're telling a story, just like everyone here is telling a story about their work. But the big story is she's launching. So that's the big story of today. So I'm here. If there's any time left, I'm definitely here to answer any of your questions. I hope I will have the pleasure of meeting you and answering any of your questions. Thank you so much. It's a joy to meet you. Thank you so much for being here today. And I look forward to seeing you again. And until then, capture the spirit of life with passion. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. What a valuable masterclass for free. How wonderful. You can catch Victoria at any of the information in the chat. Thank you to our incredible stage manager, Tori, for keeping us all informed of how we can find people. This has been a wonderful start to the day. We're so thrilled to have you all here.
Oh, hi there. It is so good to see you. And you are just in time, because she's launching this unique online event that celebrates and spotlights women entrepreneurship. So get ready to be inspired and enjoy. Oh, and by the way, you are smelling really good today.
Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Jean Marie Keevins and I am the owner and head ideator at Little Shadow Productions. We're so happy to see all of you here. Are we celebrating Bear? Yeah, Bear is pretty great. We feel lucky to have him as our friend. Bear has been championing this event for a while now. So I just want to thank you all for coming back. Some of you are just joining us, so welcome. Additionally, I want to thank all of you who have already purchased my new ebook that came out today. That's pretty exciting. Thank you for that. And we are so grateful to have all of you here. Thank you for joining us. I would like to introduce you to my friend and favorite health guru, Tatiana Ridley. Thank you for being with us, Tatiana.
Hi, everyone. Thanks, Jean Marie. Thanks to the little bear mascot. I love him. I just want to reach out and cuddle with him. So I'm so excited to be here today with all of my fellow female entrepreneurs, fempreneurs, as I like to call us, our group. So I'm going to give my little brief intro and then we'll move on toward the talk. My name is Tatiana Ridley and I'm a health coach, holistic nutritionist, yoga teacher, and the founder of Healthylicious Bliss. It's a wellness company based here in the heart of Manhattan, although it's been primarily online for the past year and a half, like many businesses. Our mission at Healthylicious Bliss is to help you optimize your health through nutrition, lifestyle, and yoga. And we do this by offering a variety of services, including telehealth, online programs, corporate and school wellness programs, yoga and meditation classes, and more. So that's my little spiel. You can find me at healthyliciousbliss.com. And I think we're going to include my website link and email in the chat section. So I'm here to talk to you about my Fearless Fall online group program, which I recently co-launched with a naturopathic and functional medicine doctor, Dr. Stephanie Pisacano, for the month of September. And we are having a great time so far. We created this program to help people feel fearless in their approach to health, especially this fall and throughout the year. And we believe that the 4 pillars to a healthy lifestyle are digestion, self-care, movement, and sleep. And so those are the 4 topics that we cover in this program week by week. It's a program format that's really unlike any other. It's a course coach chat combo that meets every Wednesday night. So we're meeting tonight from 7 to 8 p.m. and we're on week 2. So pretty excited about that. And during the format, we, the first 20 minutes, Dr. Pisacano and I go over the topic du jour, which this week is self-care, and we educate our group members about the benefits of self-care. So that's the course part. The next 20 minutes is the coaching part. We offer coaching tips to apply self-care or whatever topic we're covering that week to your life. And then the last part is the chatting part where we all get to chat with each other over Zoom and just, you know, people can ask questions, people can offer up, you know, their suggestions on what they incorporate into their lives. And it's really great. I'm loving it. And I'm excited to share it with the world. And we made it very affordable at a $40 price point for the entire program because we think that health is so important, and we wanted to make it available to most people. So if you have any interest in joining, we can let you in this week for the second week, and we would offer it to you at $30. So you would just be paying for the last 3 weeks. If you'd like to join, just send me an email or go to my website. So enough with that little promo there. Had to do a little plug. So now I'm going to move on to the knowledge nuggets. So I told you the program's divided into 4 sections. It's digestion, self-care, movement, and sleep. Week 1 was digestion, and I'm going to start, and for each of the 4 weeks, I'm going to give you a fun fact, which is from the course section, and I'm going to give you a coach tip from the coaching section. And then at the end of this, I guess we can incorporate a general chat section. And if anyone has any questions, you can drop your questions in the chat box and I will try my best to answer them. So digestion, from entry in the mouth to exit, you know where, each step is essential to the digestive process. Every step from the mouth to the bum hole, for lack of a, I wish I could interact with Jean Marie on here because, so from entry to exit, the role of the digestive system is to absorb nutrients, remove toxins and waste, and it's the immune system's first defense and protection in killing from external invaders. So how do we support our digestive system? We have to eat a diet that helps our digestive system function properly. And that's not going to be a diet that is high in saturated foods, highly processed foods, the SAD diet, the standard American diet from, which is basically McDonald's, that is all going to be detrimental to our digestive health. So what we want to do is incorporate good foods into our diet. Some of those foods are prebiotic and probiotic rich foods, which are, some examples are sauerkraut, kombucha, yogurt, miso, like miso soup, kimchi, and in general, just going for organic, whole foods, think fruits, vegetables, high quality meat, if you can, organic grass-fed meat. And if you're eating seafood, if you can get wild seafood, not farm seafood. So that's a few facts for you, because I just love the digestive system. I think it's so fascinating, and it is so integral to our health. So, coaching tip. Digestion is more than just the food you eat. It's how you digest your life. It's what you digest in your life. There's an exercise I like to do whenever I notice any sort of digestive upset, and I like to recommend this to clients, is I take a moment and I center myself and I observe my surroundings. Where am I eating? And then I observe what I'm eating. What am I eating? How am I eating? Am I eating fast, or am I taking time to chew? And it really helps me to ground myself and become more mindful of the food that I'm digesting and the surroundings that I'm digesting and the smells I'm digesting. So be mindful of that in your own life, that digestion doesn't just happen in the body, and it's about how we digest our environment. During the peak of the pandemic, I found myself consuming a lot of news, like we all were, just to keep up with what was going on. And I found that I was having trouble digesting all of the news. So I decided to create boundaries for myself, and I decided to just watch and read the news in the morning and in the evening, and then allow myself the day to kind of digest that information. And so that's an example of what I mean by digestion being more than just the food you eat. So I think that's something that's important to consider, and I hope that you will consider and apply to your life. What's an example of how you can do that? Think about the content that you're consuming. So are you consuming content, whether it's on television, whether it's on, Hulu, Netflix, HBO, whether it's YouTube, whether it's on Zoom? Are you consuming content that is positive, that's inspirational, that's educational? Or are you consuming content that just adds stress and negativity to your life and creates life, dysbiosis and a difficulty to digest life? That's I could go on and on with this, but I will stop there. So that's a sneak peek into digestion week 1. Week 2, self-care, which is what we're covering this week tonight. Fun fact, September is Self-Care Awareness Month. So we often put the needs of others before ourselves, whether it's doing a favor for a friend or a family member, or it's taking an extra assignment at work or school, and we overextend ourselves and find ourselves, on the verge of burnout. And don't get me wrong, like, these actions are all great, and I encourage them. We all need support and we all need to better ourselves. I'm just suggesting that you make sure to include your needs as well. The saying goes, you can't pour from an empty cup, or, you can't make a phone call or send a text from a dead cell phone, smartphone. So I encourage you to make time to look after yourself and literally care for yourself, like you are, right now attending this conference and this talk. You're taking the time to focus on your self-care and your career and networking and all that jazz. So it's really, self-care is, I hate to say it's my number one, but I really, really, really value the self-care part of our 4-part program. So moving on to the coaching tip, ask yourself these questions. Are your needs being met? How can you meet your needs better? What's one thing you can do starting this week to meet your needs? So this is all focused on self-care. Are you maybe take a moment to think about that yourself? Are your needs being met? How can you meet your needs better? What's one thing you can do starting this week? Moving on to movement. Fun fact, so you hear that sitting is the new smoking, and especially this past year and a half, many of us have been in work from home mode, so doing a lot more sitting. I know I play like musical chairs between my desk where I am now and my bed and my couch, and then sometimes the floor when I feel like I need to be extra grounded. But I find that I talk to a lot of people that have struggled with their lack of movement during this past year and a half, especially. So I'm asking you to take a look at your movement and ask yourself how you can add movement into your daily routine. It's probably changed a lot. I know it has for me. I couldn't go to the gym at the beginning of the pandemic, and I feel like that sounds, oh, woe is me, but I realized I had to adjust and figure out other ways to exercise. So I took yoga classes at home on Zoom and online. And then I even began riding a city bike in the parks and along the water. I've gone with Jean Marie. We had a great time. And I also take more long walks around the city and through the park. And so if you've found that, your gym or your, yoga studio, Pilates studio, whatever has closed, or you're not able to go anymore for whatever reason, I encourage you to try and find something else that you enjoy doing and adding that into your movement. Maybe it's just even taking the stairs in your apartment building instead of, taking an elevator. So moving on to the coach part, make it fun. So movement shouldn't be something you dread. It shouldn't be like, oh my God, I have to go to the gym, I have to go for a run. Find something you enjoy doing, and it doesn't have to be what everyone else is doing. For example, I used to have like a bee in my bonnet to run and get into running and run a marathon. But I just, I don't like running, and I've finally accepted that. So I do like biking. Actually, I love biking, so I do that. So ask yourself, what type of movement can you start doing this week? Maybe it's walking, maybe it's taking the stairs, maybe it's just trying a 10-minute exercise that you find on YouTube. But make it fun, make it something you enjoy, because otherwise you're just not gonna stick with it. Better yet, find an accountability buddy. Maybe you can go for a walk around the reservoir if you're in New York City. That makes it even more fun. So moving on to week 4 is sleep. Fun fact, about 70 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep problems. That's crazy, 70 million. And that used to be me. A lack of sleep is associated with, a plethora of chronic diseases, injuries, mental illnesses, poor quality of life and well-being, lost work productivity, you name it. When I don't get enough sleep, I say that I'm sleep hungover, because it literally feels like an alcohol hangover to me, and it's not pleasant. Like, you don't want to be around me, you don't want me to try and do anything. So I used to struggle with insomnia like many people, until I figured out how to set myself up for a successful sleep. And of course, there are nights when, I'll go to a wedding or, whatever, and my sleep schedule will not will not follow my routine. But that's life, and that happens. So moving on to the coaching part, what is key to a good night of sleep? Have a good sleep hygiene. What does that mean? That means being consistent with a sleep routine that works for you. Some basic kind of rules of thumb are to go to bed and wake up at the same time each night. Now, of course, we can't always do that, but if we have kind of a frame of reference, like go to bed at 10:30, wake up at 7:30, and these are just examples, then our bodies can start to kind of adjust and feel sleepy and fall asleep naturally and wake up naturally. Also, having a dark room, that's key. Lights off, shades down. Some people are very, very sensitive to light, so getting blackout shades, or if you don't want to do that, just having an eye mask. I often sleep with an eye mask. And sometimes having a sound machine is helpful for people to fall asleep. Listening to either just white noise or peaceful rain falling or ocean waves crashing along the beach. Doing a sleep meditation. I haven't read Jean Marie's ebook yet, but maybe there's a meditation in there that you could read before you go to sleep, or you could just do I like to do a body scan sometimes when I'm feeling kind of out of my head and body, and a lot's going on. Like lately, I actually did this the other night, a body scan, where I just close my eyes and I start with the top of my head, the crown of my head, and I work all the way down to the tips of my toes. And I just focus my energy and my awareness on each part of my body. and try and release any tension that I have in my body and try and send love and positive energy to every part of my body so I feel at ease and supported to actually fall into a sleep. Bedding is important. I like to have cotton bedding because it's, you know, breathable, and it doesn't have to be like 800 thread Egyptian cotton, whatever. Like I have cotton sheets from IKEA and, you know, they're great. So cotton is great because your body can breathe, and you want to be able to breathe in your bedding. Also having a mattress that is, if possible, like a good quality, you know, firm, preferably organic, but you know, I realize that that's not possible for everyone, but there are a lot of chemicals that are in mattresses, and you know, we spend a lot of our life sleeping, and those chemicals can affect our overall, you know, health. So if you can go for a, you know, organic mattress, that's something that I invested in. Sometimes people like to use a gravity blanket, which is, it's a weighted blanket. Make sure you look at the proper weight that correlates with your body weight so that you don't get something that's too heavy. But that helps you to feel more relaxed and helps you to fall asleep easier. I love using lavender essential oil. Sometimes I'll just, you know, rub it on my hands and then, you know, massage it on my temples, kind of inhale it. And then sometimes I'll sprinkle a little bit on my pillow, and that can help you to fall asleep. What are some other things? So those are some basic things. Some suggestions. What I like to do personally is I like to have my window shades down. I wear an eye mask rather, to bed. I like to have my room cool, so I either have the window open or the AC on, or nothing if it's, you know, that time of year. And then I like to take a slow release melatonin before bed to help me kind of fall asleep and stay asleep. And sometimes the lavender essential oil, depending upon where I am that day. I like to do a meditation or a body scan. Sometimes I like to listen to some Kundalini meditation music. And then last but not least, I love to track my sleep on my Fitbit, which is just, it's so fun because it kind of gamifies your health and allows you to keep track of your sleep, your REM sleep, you know. And yeah, I could go on and on, but I see it's now 1:27. So that's a wrap up of, or just a brief kind of sneak peek into my Fearless Fall online group program that is all about how to optimize your digestion, your self-care, your movement, your sleep, to have a fearless fall and feel as healthy and as happy as you possibly can. And it's a program that I'm co-leading with a naturopathic and functional medicine doctor, Dr. Pisacano. And tonight is week 2, self-care. It's from 7 to 8. And if you have any questions, feel free to email me. I think they're going to drop my email in the chat. It's hi@healthyliciousbliss.com, or to go to my website, healthyliciousbliss.com. And if you have any questions now, you can drop them in the chat. And I hope that you gleaned some helpful information from this talk. And thank you for having me, Jean Marie and Little Shadow Productions. And that's it.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. I love listening to you. Who else wants her sleep routine? For God's sake, I do. I have the essential oils. I have that going, but not the rest of it. And cotton sheets. So 2 out of 4 ain't bad. So thank you, Tatiana, and I highly recommend Tatiana's services. And I will tell you this, and this is why she was saying she wishes we were talking to each other. She will talk to you about all of the things that your body is doing that you don't want to talk about in public. She'll make it fun. She'll make it fun.
Oh, it's true. I make it fun to talk about poop.
There you go. I knew she was going to say it. You want to talk about poop? Call Tatiana. So these things are important. So I highly recommend her services, which is not what I'm here to do today, just for the record, but I do. So thank you, Tatiana. And, I'll be calling you soon for another bike ride.
Thank you.
We're long overdue. Take care. Thank you so much. And thank you also to Bear in the Big Blue House. We love that little bear. And he will be back later in the day. So, gigantic segue from your physical and mental wellness to taking care of one of the things that, quite frankly, I do care about, which is fashion. I love it, and I'm not sorry about it. So we are going to talk about it today. So I am very happy to introduce to you Isabel Bailin. Isabel comes from a background that is in television. She is a communications development. No, that is wrong. Creative development person who is available for all of our friends out there who are looking to hire someone in creative development. She's your girl. She's awesome. She's reliable. She's smart. She's funny. She will deliver. But like so many of the women today, we are multi-hyphenates, right? Women don't have to focus on one thing. Frankly, humans don't have to focus on one thing. But we are focusing on women today, and women who are stepping out and doing something new. Just like Tatiana was launching her new program, Isabel is working with an Italian designer and launching a new brand. So what's better than that? You're going to be wanting to sniff some leather and buy some purses after this. So thank you so much, Isabel, for being here. I cannot wait to hear what you have to share.
Oh, thank you, Jean Marie. Well, thank you all for joining. I'm Isabel. I am, yes, from the entertainment world, very much unemployed and not happily so. There are many who are very happy and good for them. So I'll get into kind of my background and what led me to Marco James and that brand. So I went to Barnard College, so I'm all about women. She's launching, love that. And I'm all about female entrepreneurship. I think, I have many friends who are in this world of let's just create something we're really passionate about and go for it full force. And they do that full time. I've definitely been a little bit more hesitant just because I find that structure from a corporate setting is really nice. But sadly, of course, there are restructures, and I am definitely a COVID casualty. Shout out to my others that are COVID casualties. My team was part of the recent restructure at NBC Universal. And so for the past 7 months, I've been interviewing and looking for new opportunities, but really trying to find an opportunity that I can control. And that's something that I think we've all lost during COVID is what can we actually control? And that is a self-made business. And so the story to Marco James is a funny one. I was in Italy recently visiting my sister, who has been taking off a couple months between jobs as well. And we were in the Amalfi Coast. And we were on a boat to Capri. And I know this sounds super bougie, and it is. We were on a boat, and I sat next to this family that happened to have a bag company. And they're all about sustainable products and making sure that, their handcrafted leather is top notch, but also affordable. And I was asking them, how they created this empire, because what they did essentially was exporting leather goods from Italy to New Zealand and Australia. And they've been doing that since 1996. And actually, we can pull up the slides that have this information so you guys can read through as well as I'm speaking. Thank you so much. So the brand essentially is from this Italian New Zealand family. The mom is from New Zealand, and the rest of the family are fully Italian. They were all born in Italy. And I met this family on a boat, and they had basically described to me how they created this brand. And I was really interested in it. And their son, whose name is Marco James, is a designer who wanted to create his own bags with a manufacturer in Italy and bring it to America because his dream is to work in America. And so I had said, I'm very unemployed and super eager to do pretty much anything for money. And they liked that. So I've been working with Marco James now for the past few months, creating a new line of bags. And basically, their long decades of relations, suppliers and customers have been super helpful in getting us going in the United States. So we're really all about, handcrafted leather goods that supply, a great value to our clients. And really what we want is just top quality leather bags that are affordable. And our principle is really to make sure that that satisfies our customer is the price and the quality. And they're differentiated, by their leather. And I'll tell you, the leather of these bags is truly what Jean Marie would describe a lovely smelling leather. You receive the bag and you really realize this is the best leather I'm going to get out of Italy. And it's true. I myself have smelt a bag or two, and I'm very much high from it in the best of ways. So we can go to the next page. So our autumn and winter collection is really exciting because we have new colors, new designs that are all handmade in genuine leather and very popular. This bag in particular is my favorite because it's super, you can use it in casual settings, you can use it in fancy settings, and it's so dependent, I feel like, on the colors. So I have a green bag for just the days I'm walking around New York City wanting to feel a little bold and fashionable. But I also have the tan bag that I use for more like Rosh Hashanah dinners. Shout out to the Jews that I wear for fancier events. And they all come with a leather shoulder strap. So it's not just a handbag, but also a strap that you can use all over your body. That sounded weird, but exciting. It's all made in Italy and all under the designer Marco James. We can go to the next page. And by the way, you'll get an amazing deal by being on here. I'm taking off for that bag, $110. So usually they're $310. They're now $200. This is a nice woman holding a bag just to show you how one wears it. We can go to the next slide. More women wearing the bags. And then, we are all about all shapes and sizes, all personalities, races, whatever. You all should get a bag. It's just, they're amazing. I wear them every day and I get compliments all the time, and I smell them all the time because I personally like the smell. We can stop here. So this is our next bag that's in our fashion line. It is a beautiful, beautiful handbag. It stands out because it's a small size, but it's also really elegant. My mom personally has this bag. She loves the tan one. She wears it all the time. It really just has like a very elegant look. It has also that leather strap, so it's very functional. And it has a lot of room inside, which she really appreciates. She's all about more space. I personally like a smaller bag. She likes a bigger bag. So this one was normally $290. You can get it for $185. And it's very comfortable. The leather is really, really soft. So you'll enjoy that. So we can go to the next slide. Awesome. So here's a woman wearing one of those bags so that you can see what it looks like. And that's the slide. Great. And here she is again. Shocking. She's wearing the bag. And this is in Italy. This photo was taken in the Amalfi Coast, actually, while I was there last. So you can see just how beautiful the view is, but also the bag is the most beautiful part of the picture, wouldn't you say? We can keep going. Awesome. So this is our final bag of our line. I would say this bag is the most traditional shopper bag. So if you're looking for a bag that's pretty big and can fit more stuff than a typical like shoulder bag. This is definitely your go-to. My grandma uses this one and she's super obsessed with it. She is all about functionality, but also having enough room for everything that she needs. I personally love this bag. I have it in blue. I'm more of like a big poppy color girl. Some people like the grays, the whites, the blacks. The great thing about this line is that if you like a bag style, we can put it in any color that you want because we're working with this amazing Italian bag manufacturer, and they are very much attuned to their client needs and their clients' wants. So if we have a request from you guys, we can get you whatever color you want. So originally this bag is $280, but for you guys, it's $175, which is really exciting. And all of this again is genuine leather. You're going to smell it and you're going to know it's genuine leather, I promise. And it's a really, really just exciting line of bags. And I think that's the last page, or maybe, no, it's not. It's the woman wearing the bags again. She's back. We'll call her Cynthia. We don't know her real name. No, we do. She's a good friend of Marco James. Anyway, so here is the final bag in many different looks. It's definitely the biggest bag of what we offer, and certainly the most functional for those who have a lot of stuff in their purses. I personally just bring like my phone, my wallet, my keys, but some women don't. And that's just a white page, so you can nix out of the presentation now. Thank you. And now I'm going to bring on Jean Marie herself, a famous woman who's on this call to question me about everything that she's wondering about this brand.
Well, first of all, I'm glad that I found a leather sniffer because I can't help myself. And I blame my mother, who will at some point watch this, and that's her fault. But also, I was really excited, and I'm a small bag person. I'm a small wallet person. Like, I don't need a whole lot. But that last one looks so buttery that I know. Just keep touching.
I know. So that's the thing. That look is really popular. It's definitely popular. It's funny. All of these kind of have demographics with them. Like my 26-year-old fellow friends are definitely getting the smaller bag. The middle bag, my mom's age, is like key. And then my grandma just loves, like, all of her friends are getting the bigger bag, which I totally get, because I feel like when you're older, you have so much to bring with you everywhere. Whereas when you're younger, you just don't want to like have anything heavy on your arms. I think it's really just about that.
Yeah, that's funny when you just said that about older people carrying everything. I know what you mean, and I'm sorry that is a truth. But all I could think about was I have an aunt who one time we said, "Do you have scissors?" and she pulled out a full size pair.
Yes. Exactly.
That's why that's so big.
Yeah. Totally.
Anyway, irrelevant, but now we all know that. You won't watch this, so we're good.
Yeah.
So Isabel, I love that you came out of the gate saying, like, listen, I needed work. I was interested in this product. These people were cool. And that it was ethical, ethically made products. I love that you came out of the gate like, this is straight up where I'm at. Also, I love that you're backing ethically made products, because that's where I come from as a human. But knowing that, where do you see yourself going with this? Like, you literally just put your toes in the water. So where does this go?
It's very new. I think, working with Marco James, whose family has this huge background in, their first year, it's so crazy. Their first year of doing this, taking these amazing Italian bags and bringing them to New Zealand and Australia, they made $250,000 in their first year without having like comeback clients, anything. So that was super interesting to me, is money. But also, I really think long-term, this is a great opportunity for Marco to really, put himself out there. And he, so badly wants to move to to the United States. And so to be able to do that and to start a store, he needs to start getting clients, and he needs to start, really reaching out and networking, to designers. And he can't do that from Italy, obviously, especially with COVID, it's a lot harder. And he just launched this during COVID. So my job, yes, crazy. He started the whole thing during COVID. My job is to essentially network for him and reach out to designers, go to boutiques in New York City, find, smaller companies. In fact, there's one in New Haven that I'm reaching out to called Blooms right now that like has like sustainable, leather goods that she's selling, and she needs bags. And so really it's a lot of outreach and going out of my way to find the people that want to be selling really high quality Italian leather goods for a really affordable cost. And for me, that's really big too, that, you know, the family's motto is like, we really don't want people to spend a shit ton of money. We want them to find something that's really high quality and get it for a reasonable price. And being 26, I really appreciate that because I'm always looking for sustainable, really beautiful bags. I'm a big bag girl. And so I was like, sign me up. First of all, can I have one? I paid for it, but I got one. And now I get to sell them. And now I get to, you know, find all these really cool people that are interested in our product and put them in their stores and see how they do. And that's the really exciting part is Marco and I are just winging it. We're taking what we know works in terms of just like our platform and our, you know, and our motto and really what we're hoping other people are really excited about, and taking these bags, bringing to the US and seeing how they do. And he's brilliant. He's been doing the, you know, the designing for a long time and working with this manufacturer for a long time. And his family is super passionate about him like going off and doing it himself because clearly it you know, really worked for them. And now it's our opportunity to share it with the US and see like who's interested. So we have put the link in the chat function of our Instagram as well as the website to get your own bag. But if you want this discount, you will have to reach out to me directly. And so we've added in my email. Thank you so much, Tori. So reach out to me and I'll give you this discount because these bags are amazing. You're going to want one. They're great gifts too. Like I actually gifted my mom and gifted my grandma a bag because you know, I'm a good daughter and granddaughter. They're awesome and they love them and they wear them every day. They're just super functional.
Awesome. So like you were just saying, and this is all new to you,
Mm-hmm.
When you were talking about reaching out to people
Yes.
and winging it, that is very, very much, everybody here understands that. Oh, Tatiana's saying she wants one.
Woo! Yeah, Tatiana.
Yeah. So everybody here understands the winging it part of it, right?
Yeah.
We're all launching new endeavors and trying new things. And some of the people, you know, including Tatiana, who's been doing what she's doing for some time, she's launching a new program, right? What is that about? Pam.
Yeah, Pam.
Great. I feel like we just turned into the home shopping club.
Yeah.
And that's
totally
fun. So women supporting women, people supporting people.
Yes.
So in the winging it thing, what's like your next big idea, do you think? Like, what do you think you're gonna?
Oh my gosh. So I am getting married. Yeah, that's a small question, but I'm getting married in April to a wonderful man named Alex Schultz, who's not on here, which is really upsetting because clearly he doesn't support my female entrepreneurship. Just kidding. It's fine. He's working his job. He's employed, so that's why he's not here. So we're getting married in April, and my wedding dress designer is actually in New Haven, Connecticut, where I am right now. Shout out to Connecticut people. And she is starting a potential new endeavor with all bridal accessories, dresses, things like that, in addition to her specific wedding dress company, which is called Modern Trousseau. I'm totally giving her a shout out right now. If you need a wedding dress, she's amazing. She's literally creating a dress for me that's sustainable and also affordable, which for a 26-year-old getting married is super key because I'm paying for it. Shout out to the women who pay for their own wedding dresses. So she's actually going to bring our bags onto her new company or onto this new site. And they're going to be like whites and tans and more bridally colors, but she really wants to get involved and bring these to the US. So that's the next step for sure, is working on that website with her, getting these bags on her site. And hopefully, if this becomes really successful, Marco James can create a larger line of bags. Right now we have these three, small, medium, large, bags, and he really wants to design more, but until we really see the sales coming through, we have to hold off. So this is why I'm providing a discount to this group of people, because we need to start somewhere. And as much as they are normally very like you know, in the higher ranges of a 300, we're willing to go 200s and 100s to really get our names out there, because the leather is really high quality, and what we want is just to create a client base that's going to help us get there, you know?
Yeah. So, final question.
Mhm.
What do you think you've learned most from this endeavor?
Oh my goodness. To trust myself and to go about this with like huge energy and motivation, even if it totally fails. I'm putting my own money into the company. I don't even have much money to put into the company, but I believe in it enough to do that. And I think if you can find people who are really passionate about what they do, like this family convinced me in 2 hours on a boat in Italy to do this. And I think if you're that passionate and you are that excited about the products you offer, then you should sign on. And for me, it was easy. Like I saw their bags in person on that boat and got to see the leather and really, you know, exactly. Yes. You're able to customize the color, which I think is really special. I mean, you literally can email me, ask for a specific bag and say, I want this in white. I want it in black. Like we can do that. For this first shipping, I'm getting just a variety of colors of each bag. So if you want it now, I might not be able to promise you that, but in the future, when we grow more and more, we can deliver specific colors, which is really exciting. And we do already have a lot of colors. You've seen a bunch on that PowerPoint. But what's just really exciting about it is the fact that like we're doing it and we're not holding back and we're just going for it. And we have no idea what the sales will be, and we have no idea if people are going to love this or hate this or not care about this. And frankly, that is something that I've learned a lot about, is that it doesn't matter what other people think or want or anything. It matters what you want, and you have to go out and do it, because life's short. And frankly, like the idea that I would be in this situation of unemployment at 26 is shocking to me and my family, who are so supportive of this and all have asked for a bag from Marco James, which is amazing. And I'm very thankful for that. But I think it's key to, in this, she's launching, you know, room, is to promote, you know, female entrepreneurship. Go do what you want to do, you know, make a company, start a conversation that might be uncomfortable, might make you a little weirded out, but also really exciting. And I personally just love fashion. I'm a huge fashion nut, and to be able to learn from this family that have been doing it since 1996 and working with their son, who's now trying to be a designer, is just so fun and cool. And these bags are gonna, I think, go viral. I think Marco's gonna kill it, and he's already creating the next line of bags because he's already gotten so many orders in Italy. And that's what we're looking for. We're looking for the United States to match that. Like, get your bag and we'll make more. And that's on you to do that, is you know, to really support us, because we want to be in the next Bloomingdale's. We want to be in Nordstrom, but we can't yet until we've launched you know, enough bags.
Love it. I love it. I really appreciate your curiosity and your enthusiasm. And I really, I know I've said this already, but I appreciate your honesty. You know, sometimes most of the time, pivots come from the unexpected. You know,
Yes.
sort of embracing that and
Yes.
going after something else with reckless abandon. If you knew too much, you probably wouldn't go there. So just keep going.
Yeah, that's the thing. I'm not doing too much research. And even though my dad disagrees with that, I'm just going full force. But again, if you want a discount on these bags, you need to email me directly. The website will have different pricing, and it's in euros. So just reach out to me via email and I can get you your next bag.
Awesome.
Yay.
Thanks, Isabel. I'm really
Of course.
excited for you. I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you.
And I look forward to seeing what happens. And I cannot wait to get my green leather bag.
Yes.
Yes. I
Love
can't
it.
wait. Thank you so much to Isabel. You're so much fun to be around. And I really appreciate your authenticity as a human. So thank you so much for your presentation. And I hope that you have nothing but positive outcomes from your endeavor. And may it lead you to the next exciting adventure. With that, I would like to introduce Liz Kitchell of Shimoula. Liz is one of those women who not only do I admire, but I am grateful for her positive outlook, but also her realistic conversations. Liz, we were just talking about how, you know, you don't have to come at things from one direction. And most women don't, right? We think a little bit differently than the male dominated world. And I would actually even like to challenge the male dominated world conversation. You know, we're having an entire event around women starting new endeavors. So maybe we're not going to subscribe to that. So Liz started a company with her partner Dawn called Shimoula. And as I said at the beginning of this event, Shimoula has a mastermind that I am a part of. And I am so grateful to them because those women, when I said, I'm writing a book and it's almost done, and okay, I'm trying to upload it, which took 30 days, no joke, because Murphy's Law was happening. They just kept saying, keep going, but you need a launch event. You're a producer. Why aren't you doing this? And I offer that to say that this is a woman who's focused on who are you authentically and how can we make who you are work for you. You don't need to be in the box that other people are describing. Let's figure out you. So I will let Liz talk about her company herself, but I'm so grateful to her leadership, her friendship, her kindness, and I'm so grateful that she has become a cheerleader for me and for this event. So thank you, Liz, and welcome to She's Launching.
Yay! I'm so happy for you, Jean Marie. This is a fantastic event, and everybody that's here sharing their expertise, their livelihood, it makes us all better. You know, when everybody shines, it makes everyone else's light just shine that much brighter. So I appreciate it 100%. And it looks like my camera's a little fuzzy. It's going to clear up here in a second. And if not, maybe it's just not meant to be clear. But I am Liz Kitchell with Shimoula, and Shimoula is a company really dedicated to helping women look at the relationship with money and learn how to have it all, right? How to make more money, how to keep more money, how to define your life in a way and align your bank accounts. So it's really important to just kind of like for a moment, just sit back, relax. This is going to be fun. It'll be engaging. And that's really about it. So I just want to give you a little bit of background on myself. And it's not really about me, so I'm not going to focus there too long. I started in the financial services industry in 1994 after a career in ballet. And I can't believe I ended up in the financial services industry after being such a creative person. And after about 25 years in the financial services industry as a financial advisor or a coach or a trainer of financial advisors, I realized that creatives and women weren't necessarily coming to the table and staying at the table. Financial advisors would interact with them and ask them certain questions to kind of get them to a place of understanding how to build a financial plan that would work for them. Unfortunately, a lot of times creatives or women would feel judged about their process with regards to money because it didn't always make sense to the person sitting across the table that was deemed an expert. They would often leave and not get the products or services that they really needed to get ahead. And that broke my heart. It made me really angry, actually. And I got out of the industry to start my own company, Shimoula, to really understand how women and creatives and other people that don't necessarily think about money in a logical way, but more in an experiential way, and kind of marry the two approaches, because it's not one or the other, it's both. It is really both. And there's more than that. There's so many different ways with regards to money. But there were a lot of people out there talking about just go spend money, more money will show up. And then there are others out there like, oh, you know, you got to save money for a rainy day. But we like to say, and I love this improv term, that money really should be a yes and conversation. So money should be able to be there for you. And it should be there for today and tomorrow, and have fun along the way, right? That's what's most important. If you're not having fun along the way, then something's missing, whether it's a personal dream, a professional dream, or any of that other stuff. So I told you this was going to be interactive. So I'm going to bring up the chat so I can watch this. And I would love to know the conversation pieces here. So who would like to have more money? Say yes, if you would like to have more money. Okay. Who would like to have less stress? Say yes if you'd like to have less stress. Okay. Who wants to win the lottery? That's what my giveaway should have been, as lottery tickets. Okay, so only Jean Marie and Caroline want to win the lottery, right? Okay, I'm sure there's more of you that want to win the lottery out there. But winning the lottery is not a plan that you can plan around. But we could maybe get to a point where we can understand why the money is so important. A lot of times when we're thinking about making more money and keeping more money, a lot of emotions and patterns come up and a lot of self-talk from our past. And it could be, oh, you know, money's evil. Anybody ever heard that money's evil? Or money is the root of all evil? Money is not good or bad. And I'm sure we all have some kind of thing with regards to this, some story that comes up with regards to this. But a lot of times it's an emotion that comes up that tells us the story's there. So emotions are indicators whether or not our life is working for us right now at the moment or not. So if it's a negative emotion, things aren't working in our life. It's a positive emotions, our needs are being met. So when we think about our money situation, how many people just say, you know, are you having negative emotions that come up or positive emotions? Okay. So, and all that is, if a negative emotion is coming up, that just means it's an opportunity for clarity. Something is not working in your life with regards to your relationship with money. And now remember, there's two sides to money. There's the logical side, like what to do with it. And there's the experiential side, like why do you even have it? To go have fun, to have experiences, to go travel, to go skydiving, whatever it is that brings you fun and joy in your life, right? And we have to create the situation where there's a relationship that both are possible. So when you have a negative emotion that comes up with regards to your money situation, it could be for whatever reason. Now, a lot of people right now are in flux and in change of jobs, maybe income because your industry is shut down. I've had a lot of different people that have helped people through that process. So if we look at this and we have all of these negative emotions that are coming up, that is an opportunity for clarity because we have uncertainty that we're looking at. And the clarity is an opportunity to create. But oftentimes we come from a place of helplessness, frustration, anger. And these are all opportunity for clarity. Anger is something that's unfair and something needs to change. Right? Helplessness means you feel like you don't have the ability to really change things around. And you do, you just might be too tired at the moment to change it. So when these negative emotions come up, it's an opportunity to pause and ask yourself and get really curious what's just coming up. Is there a pattern here that's just not working? Not to go into the emotion or go into the story that much because we don't want to really recreate it. We just want to know what's playing out. And that is the information we need for a change. So let's just say we all won the lottery. Whatever that number looks like for you that would change your life. It could be 500,000. It could be 1 million. It could be $10 million. $100 million. It doesn't matter. Think about that number for a second. Imagine them telling you you won the lottery. First of all, allow yourself to feel relieved for a second. And then tell me in chat the first 3 things you would purchase. Personally, I know I would purchase a fun car. One of the things I give up sometimes is having a fun car. When I am pivoting in my life financially, and trying to create things. Ooh, a home and land in New Zealand. Okay. A home and land in the US. Excellent. A home, a bra, food for my neighbors, sneakers. That's awesome. Pay off college debt, travel money. So if you say travel money, then tell me the first 2 or 3 places you would travel to. A lot of times when people try and build a new money plan for themselves, it becomes overwhelming because they see all the obstacles to the money in front of them. So I'm going to share with you a couple of ways that we do this at Shimoula. And we really kind of plan from the end in mind. So let's just say it's 5 years from now and you have encountered money, right? And you've created the life that you wanted in your business, in your personal life, in your family life. You've traveled to all these different places. You have employees. Your purses, Isabel, are all over Nordstrom's and all the other Saks Fifth Avenue and all the other stores that you wanted them in, right? When we are in our life in 5 years from now, it's really easy to brainstorm that. And when we bring really big ideas into fruition, we actually brainstorm them twice. Once in the creative mind, so we can see it, feel it, we know why it's important to it, we can feel the emotions as if it would happen. And then once in the physical form. So as a creative myself, it's really easy to build everything in this creative mind. What isn't always easy is then put it into existence in the physical form. But if I can get really clear and add a lot of weight to my ideas in that 5-year plan and why it's important to me, the what and the why, I can get really clear on that. Then I can start backing into the actual plan and strategy that gets me there. So I've got this plan and I take a look at it. That's where I am in 5 years from now. Where am I in 4? Where am I in 3? Where am I in 2? Where am I in 1? If my goal, let's just say $10 million is what I want to make sure I have saved in the next 5 years. If 10 million is where I want to be in 5 years from now, insert your number. It could be 500,000, it could be 10,000, whatever that number is. And where do I need to be in 4 years, 3 years, 2 years? And it's really easy to sit there and dream big when it's far out. But it's also important to be able to back into and say, that means I need $10,000 in the next month to get on track. What would that look like? And get curious about that. But when you create your life sitting here looking forward, a lot of times all we see is obstacles and all the reasons why we can't do it. So we got our what and we got our why, and then we got to figure out like how we would get there and then what we know how to do. And when you come across things you don't know how to do, just write those on a list off to the side. And then as you move forward on the things you know how to do, you may not even need to know them, or when you do need to know them, the right person or the right training will show up, right? Now that you have this clarity and you're moving forward, the next thing that is really important is to notice any patterns or emotions that show up trying to stop you from getting there. And we have a lot of these with regards to money. You know, I can't make more money is often one of those things that happens because if I do, you know, this, or this will happen. And we'll get into some of those examples. It could be anything from if I make more money, I'll have to work harder. I don't want to work harder. If I make more money, my friends and family will see me as a bank and I don't have good boundaries. If I make more money, I will insert whatever it is. So there are these stories and patterns that we believe to be true that unconsciously keep us stuck, but we don't always know what they are. And the reason we know that they come up is because an emotion shows up. And the emotion is typically a negative one that shows us that something's not working anymore. So I'm going to go a little bit deeper into that because one of the ways for us to show you how emotions show up and these patterns show up is to go into personalities that we learned along our way. So I'm going to pull up a PowerPoint and kind of talking about 3 of the 8 money personalities that we deal with at Shimoula, just to give us some insight on what some of the obstacles are for you to make and keep more money. So here we go. Okay, great. I'm only bringing 3 of the 8 up. And if you want to test, it's on our website. You can go and you can test and figure out which you are. And then we send you an email with a video about the description on all the different types. But I'm going to talk about 3, the accumulator, the alchemist, and the nurturer. The accumulator, if you think about an accumulator, think about a banker. This is somebody that's really good with just the numbers. And when you go to balance the spreadsheet, there has to be more money coming in than going out. That's how a banker would think about it, right? They have a P&L and they want to stay in the black, not in the red. right? So they're organized, they're rule followers, they're disciplined, they're planners. And accumulators, when they go to make money, they don't often take a lot of chances because there are tried and true approaches that work. So if you're somebody who is an accumulator, as your top one personality, and you leave like a corporate world or working for somebody else and go it on your own, there are some struggles there with regards to charging their worth and figuring out how to do it because they're overly cautious. They're not going to invest a lot of money into their business for something new or different. And they're driven by fear and worry. They want to make sure that they are never financially dependent on anyone else. So everything they do is going to make sure that they can stay independent and not to burden somebody else. They're so good at the numbers, but they're also so cautious that they will research things over and over and over again, and maybe or maybe not invest in that company, invest in that mutual fund that might be a little risky. They might not invest in real estate that they were thinking would be a good opportunity for an up and coming neighborhood. And 5 years later, they're like, why didn't I do that? So an accumulator, to be able to get to the point where they could make more money, they actually have to expand the rules. And they have to just think outside the box just a moment to create some new rules because they love the rules so much. So that's the accumulator. Think about a banker. Now, an alchemist. A lot of creatives and activists are alchemists. And what an alchemist is that they are very magical with regards to why we're here in this world. And they believe that there are ideas that can transform the world. And they're going to be a part of it. So they're very idealistic. They champion and cheer other people on when they have really big ideas. And they have this concept that, you know what, I'm going to make it happen. And it's almost magical. So when we said to Jean Marie, go have a launch party, within 10 minutes of having a launch, saying, go have a launch party, go celebrate this, she had the layout and the people in her mind of how to make this happen. So an alchemist knows how to really make things happen. They talk to people about their ideas, their transformation, and the people show up. It's almost as if they have a magic wand. Yet at the same time, because they're so busy transforming the world, they have this relationship with money that is kind of love-hate. They're like, oh, I love money and what it can do, but I hate money because it's necessary to do it, right? But they often forget they have the magic wand, and that if they focus on really why they're doing something, that a lot of things just naturally show up and fall into place because they're very clear about their what and their why. And that's very important for all of us, but for the alchemists especially. The alchemists, they also have a challenge, with regards to making more money because they'd rather barter or trade. And when you barter and trade a lot for services, it doesn't necessarily translate to cash or revenue. It's not something that you can measure. And then a lot of your time is taken up by the trading. So that's something also to keep in mind when you're getting to the point where you're trading a lot. So not sure what happened to the PowerPoint, but hopefully, can we go back one? There we go. Thank you, Tori. And then also with regards to the alchemists, they believe that there's an unfair balance to wealth in the world, and they would love to kind of like shake it up and redistribute it if they could. And I know some of the younger generations have this concept in them, and it's kind of fun to like watch that they're here to transform the world. So I love that. And it's important to get clear on the ideas of what transformation would look like and why it's important, because the why is going to keep you motivated after 2 weeks. Motivation only lasts 2 weeks. Why and the impact on you and your life, that lasts longer. And that's why we always work from a 5-year plan backwards. Okay, the last personality I'm going to talk about, and we just run across these a lot, especially with business owners. There's also a maverick, which is a different story, but they're very much a risk taker and they're a serial entrepreneur oftentimes, right? So the nurturer. The nurture is the exact message you hear on the airplane all the time. Put on your own mask first before putting on anyone else's mask, because if you don't have oxygen, there is no possible way you can help somebody else on that airplane. So that's the same concept with regards to money. But the nurture is motivated by taking care of others. A nurture can anticipate what other people need and actually provide it before people even ask for it. So if you think about, employees out there or people who are nurturers, they make great trainers. They make great things where you're like, oh, this would be something that a mom would be really good at because they're so good about taking care of others, nurses, etc. But I'm also a nurturer. It's my number one. And for me to be a business owner, I had to recognize the nurturer pattern and how it showed up. When I was in the corporate world, it was very easy for me to, have the money came in because it was the company, in a way that was being represented. And I didn't have to worry about it so much. The nurturer is so busy taking care of other people, they often sacrifice their own needs. Okay. Because they feel like they're already so blessed to begin with sometimes that they can give it away and they don't have good boundaries. But there's so many amazing strengths. They're generous with their companies and personal time and resources. They will make very loyal clients. So when they onboard clients, whether they're an employee or they are their own business owner, those clients are there for life because they take such good care of them, as long as they don't enable them. So there's that, fine line there. They're also very loyal and devoted employees. The nurturer, though, when it comes to money, is naturally good at the accumulation aspect of it because they know they're going to need it to take care of other people. They often have times of not spending money on other people. So to keep more money, the nurturer has to get very clear on boundaries with regards to other people in their life, because they'll be the first one to not put money in a 401k so it could pay for ballet lessons, soccer, summer camp, and everything else. And one of the things that you just can't finance in life is your retirement, right? So there's certain patterns each one of these personalities have that can help you make more money or keep more of it. The challenges for the nurturer, if they are their own boss, is that they don't charge their worth because they see that people are in pain and they want to solve that for that pain. Even if somebody else can't see they're in pain, they're often empathic and everything else, and they're able to provide solutions. Execution on building businesses are also hard sometimes for the nurturer, because a boundary is going to get in the way. Their family is going to need them. Their partner is going to need them. Somebody else with a big agenda is going to need them, and they're going to get excited about that idea versus staying on track with their idea that they know is a really good idea. They do often rescue employees or their clients, but it's very important to make sure that they don't make them codependent in the process. So you're not these personalities. I'm not these personalities. They're just patterns that show up in our life. They're important patterns because if we recognize the pattern, they're often the ones that stop us from making more money, charging our worth, or getting another client. There's another archetype out there called the connector. It's so busy making friends, it can't always find new clients or get the clients to go through the prospect phase, because they want to give white glove experience to everybody. So if they have too many people in the prospecting line, they'll drop the ball. So one of the things that they will need is they need a system in place to do white glove touches along the way if they personally can't do it. So I'm going to stop well, let's go to the next slide real quickly and I'll discuss that next slide and then I'll see what questions you have. We love what we do at Shimoula so much. We love creating opportunities around money. Be it some personal goal, whether it be, a career goal you have, starting a new company, pivoting your business, making it bigger, whatever it is. We love it so much that this is what we do all the time. We give away money personality readings when we do speaking engagements like this, and we'd like to offer the same thing to you. So if you want to do a money personality reading, you'll see right there our website, shimoula.com. The personality quiz is on each one of the pages. And then if you want a free personal reading, I'm happy to give you one. You can actually click on the shimoulasquare.site, and that'll take you up to a scheduling calendar where you can schedule a time to get your free personalized reading based on your 3 types. So if you go ahead and close out of this PowerPoint, I will talk for a minute about the top 3 personalities. In a way, they blend together to create patterns that either work or don't work. I'm a nurturer, I'm a romantic, and I'm a connector. Interestingly enough, each one of those would rather be drinking wine, eating cheese, while on some island in the Mediterranean Sea, connecting with their friends. The romantic hates adulting and just magically thinks money is going to appear, which sometimes it does. But when I know this about myself, I can tell the romantic in ways, we're going to go play later, we'll get a couple things out of the way first. And it's just easy to create opportunities where my personalities can all be on the same team and become my biggest cheerleaders, because they all have their strengths. They all have the ability to make more money and to live life fully. And if I get them to the point where they all work on the same team, which they do now, it's really a rewarding life. So I'm going to stop there. I'm going to pull up, see if you have any questions here, or Jean Marie wants to share anything with regards to her experience.
Hi.
Hi.
I would be happy to share about my experience. Wow, I'm having like testify day. So for me, working with Shimola was really important. I was laughing when you were saying these are not my personality types. I'm like, yeah, but they are mine. Did you pull up my
No, I did not know that. I was just like, what do we come across most often?
Girl, right here. Yeah, I've always kept a budget. I have had consistent work where I could, save money and feel secure. And then like life changed.
Mm-hmm.
Big time. And I was prepared for the unexpected. I will give myself that, right? Like the cushion was there. But when the cushion was gone, then what? And you change in those life moments, right? Your personality shifts. And that was exactly when I met you, which was like, oh, right, this is that moment. And being able, I happen to have the personality that can identify this is that moment. But because I could, and then you invited me into your world, which I'm so grateful for, I now feel like I'm an infinitely curious person, but I'm asking more targeted questions. Yeah. And that's a big shift.
Good, yeah. Because that's the more clarity you get, the more you can get more targeted.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And when you don't know, sometimes when we're, lower in the ability to see a possibility, we have to go broad. We have to go broad. Because if we don't go broad, we actually create more resistance by going, oh, the thing I want, it's just not here.
Right.
And then we add more trauma to our money situation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Not me, everybody. She's not talking about
I'm not talking about you, right?
That wasn't me.
I do say you in general when I mean to say one.
Yep.
It's a habit I picked up in the 10th grade and I never dropped.
Oh my word. Well, Liz, thank you so much for your expertise and your generosity. I love listening to you speak. There's something really calming about such a unnecessarily toxic topic. So I'm so grateful for that. And I know that there's a lot of people on here right now. I can see who's on there, and I know almost everybody. And I know that for those of you who I have coached, now you know where I got that info that I told you. Call Shimola. Now you know why. So thank you so much for sharing, and I do hope that people go and take the personality quiz. It is really fun, slightly scary, but fun, right? Like it's good
fun.
to look in the mirror. So yeah, thank you so much.
And we promise to make it fun and safe.
And safe. That's the biggest part. 100%. Well, thank you for that, Liz.
Okay, Granny Doris, are you ready to say congratulations to all the amazing women out there?
Yes, I am. And I do want to congratulate all these powerful women that are doing their job to help everybody.
Yep, they're planting seeds that grow and make a difference in this world.
Yes, that's it. Thank you so much. We all thank you for all the help you do.
Yeah, and we, between the both of us, we're almost add up to 100 years of joy. Of course, I'm only 5. I'm not giving away her age. But this here, my Granny Doris, love and kindness is a superpower. And so, thanks for your inspirations and happy opening Joy Day!
Yay!
I love that we did it in the garden. I hope they plant their seeds.
Hey everyone, welcome back. We're just in time for a ton of alarms going off around me. So this is live, very live. And with that, I want to thank Leslie Carrera, Lolly, and Granny Doris for sending their lovely message. Leslie and I were talking about how important intergenerational play is for men and women. And so they sent that really lovely message. So thank you to them for their support. And speaking of intergenerational play, I would really like to introduce my dear friend Jane Shomof, who runs Bloom Recovery. Jane today has all of her children home because life is happening. So we are going to have a real mommy moment today. Jane is a licensed psychotherapist, perinatal mental health specialist, substance abuse and addiction specialist, and a doctor of clinical psychology. Before delving into the world of perinatal mental health, she spent her time focusing on substance abuse and addiction treatment. Jane is, to me, one of the most empathetic people I've met in a long time, and I have never heard her talk to somebody without saying, is there something I can do for you? And how can I help? So with that, I would like to introduce my dear friend, Jane Shomof. Welcome, Jane.
Hi, that was such a lovely introduction. Got a little emotional.
Oh, well, we can introduce each of your kids as they join us as well.
I really hope they don't, but I already hear one of them calling me that she's hungry. So we'll kind of see what happens. I may walk you guys around my house as I figure out what snack to feed her.
Yes.
Great. So, real life over here.
Here we go. I was just thinking that I'm in New York and you're in LA and you're outside with all the beauty and I've got alarms going off all around me. So, we're both doing it here.
Yeah.
So, if you don't mind kicking us off by just talking a little bit about where the inception of Bloom came from.
Sure. As you mentioned, I didn't start my career working with perinatal mental health. I really focused on addiction, substance abuse, which is still like my first love in the field. But in becoming a mom, you're not really gently invited into motherhood. You're kind of abruptly thrust into motherhood. And I really found that to be my experience. Here we go. Somebody is coming out.
Great.
Okay. So I had my first child almost 10 years ago. And I just remember thinking, that I had everything ready. I did everything that I was supposed to do. And yet I was so unprepared for the transition, mostly emotionally. And so fast forward to having my third child. Lily, would you like to say hi? If you're right here, this is my second. Can everybody see your face?
Nice to see you. Thanks for joining us. Hi, how are you today?
How are you today? She's saying. She can't hear you guys because you guys are in my ear. Yeah. Can you go give Elle a snack, please? Because mommy has to.
Are they as small as your ear?
Yes, they're as small as my ear. Okay, baby, can you go give Elle a snack? Anything she wants. A cookie, gummies, chocolate.
That's the technique.
Anything. Ice cream, sure. whatever she wants. Okay, we'll see how long that lasts. Yes. Yeah, you never know when the school pods are going to be shut down. So this is where we are today. So yeah, fast forward to having my third, which was almost now 4 years ago, and realizing that nothing had really changed. I felt this really strong push to be the change, or to really help be the change, because women are getting pregnant and having babies all the time, right? For as long as human beings have been human beings. Okay, ice cream sandwich. Yes, you may have. And so I decided that I was going to do something, and I didn't know exactly what that was going to be. And initially, Bloom started off as just a private pay kind of package deal, where we have different packages based on where you are in your transition into parenthood, whether you're pregnant or early in postpartum. We have like different kind of packages for you. And my biggest goal, what was really driving me through all of this, was prevention. Okay, we can't talk right now. Thank you. Was prevention, because I truly believe that if women are armed with knowledge of what could potentially be the realities of motherhood, then maybe the prevalence of postpartum mood disorders would be less than what it is right now. And I kind of link it to okay. Can you send your ice? Yes, Levi, but just don't even talk to Levi. Just go inside, please. Please, Lily, be my helper. Thank you. They're very different when they're no longer newborns, and I'm the trash can. Yeah, so this is going to happen. I'm going to lose my train of thought. Oh, prevention. Yeah, so I kind of say it like, you know, when you go to the doctor's office and you're prescribed with a certain antibiotic,
yes,
and the doctor says, okay, well, this is the antibiotic that you're going to take. These are the potential side effects that could come up if you take this particular antibiotic. You can have a stomach ache, you can have trouble sleeping, you can, you know, have lots of things, whatever, mood disruptions. And so when you take the antibiotic and you start experiencing any of these, you're not thinking deeply about them, right? You're just kind of like, oh, well, this is a potential side effect of this antibiotic. So if you had somebody that told you or explained to you the normalcies, the ups and the downs of what early parenthood looks like, when you start experiencing those, you know, side effects yourself, you don't need to think so deeply about it because they're normal, right? And so I feel like in that is really where we can help prevent this, you know, epidemic or pandemic of postpartum mood disorders. You know, it's a very popular word these days.
Wow. Yeah, for real.
Yeah.
So, you know, I'm like one of your biggest cheerleaders because I love what you're doing. And, you know, I've seen a lot of my friends. I'm not a parent, right? Although I've done some parenting. I see a lot of my friends trying to do it all from the minute that the child is born. And obviously that is impossible. How do you work with parents when you see them like knowing it all, but really not getting through?
Sorry,
Like,
Levi, I'm in a very important meeting. You can get ice cream.
Get me some ice
We're
cream.
gonna get ice cream. It's okay, baby. Come. I'm sorry, guys. Stand by. Where is it for him?
Listen, in the chat,
Where?
people are loving your children.
Okay. So I'm gonna talk as I scoop ice cream.
Oh, good. What flavor?
Whoa. We are having the rainbow sherbet. Yeah, I know. And I need the ice cream scooper. Okay, Leave. How about I bring it up to you, baby, okay? Thank you. I know, but mommy is working right now. It's very hard to understand.
This is great practice for your product placements that you'll be doing down the road.
Yes, that's really what I see in my future. You know, you never know. I never limit myself to just doing one thing, which is why it took you so long to say everything that I do. And when you were saying it, I was like, that is a lot.
And she's a mom of 4 kids.
3, but I mean, if you count the husband, it definitely feels like 4.
I won't tell him you said that, but you've clearly said it in the past.
It's okay. He probably won't disagree. Okay, so we're gonna run some ice cream up. So to answer your question, I was one of those parents and one of those moms, and it's really hard, you know, because the stuff that they tell you to learn, like take these classes, do these exercises, take these, you know, workout classes, read these books. Nothing really prepares you for parenthood. Here you go, baby. Okay. Hopefully you just put out that fire. And I think what's also really important to note is that every single experience is unique, but that all of us are not alone in our experiences.
Yeah, you just said something interesting because you were talking about putting out a fire. When you say that the parents aren't prepared, how does your service help with that? Not that you could ever be prepared to be home during quarantine with.
Yeah, I need to start a whole new business about quarantining with children. Which I can't say that I'm succeeding at, but you know, day by day, sometimes moment by moment. They are. Hopefully by bedtime they still will be, and I still will be. But yeah, so that's a really great question. So we actually have a postpartum planning guide that's available for free on our website to anybody who is interested. It's, like I said, it's completely free. So if you know anybody who's expecting, it's great. Just pop in there. I believe it's under our resources. If you can't find it, I saw that you put some contact info for me. Feel free to reach out and I can send that over. And it basically outlines, like, it's like a worksheet of like what you would need. No, baby, we can't do that out here. You have to go inside. Sorry. Forgot about you. I'll take you with me. Here, baby, come sit right here at the table since you're eating, or sit there. See, I really thought this was going to go super smoothly. Like, I thought there were going to be no interruptions, but you know, as is the way, this is how it came to be.
We're keeping it real.
We are keeping it too real, but it is what it is. Hopefully I am making sense to you guys.
You are.
And so it outlines what you need to do from how to provide, like, take some time for self-care, how your partners or loved ones can help you with eating or with taking little breaks. It's all kind of in there, as well as important things that you may need for your postpartum journey. And I think equally as important to the worksheet, there's also moods. So things that you may feel that are completely within normal range. So that if you're thinking these thoughts or having any of these feelings, to remind yourself this is normal. And I always like to say that transitions, no matter how positive, they're never devoid of emotion. Like buying a new house, you know, it's really exciting, but it takes a lot of hard work, right? By the time you get all the furniture and figure out where to put things, and the whole process can be painful, even though the end result is really positive. So it's really similar when you're transitioning into parenthood, because it is a painful process filled with lots of emotions. And in the blink of an eye, you know, people often prepare for the birth. I talk about this a lot as well. They really spend a lot of time focusing on the birth plan, and birth plans are great for a lot of reasons. But I find that when women put too much emphasis on their birth plans, they tend to kind of get down on themselves, because birth plans don't often go according to plan. So I always joke that the only thing that should really be in your birth plan are to leave the hospital, you know, alive, like healthy, with a healthy baby. If you did that, then you did what you needed to do. I was literally like Oprah with my birth plan when I had my first kid. I had like copies. I was like dancing through the going to my room, like anybody who'd make eye contact with me, like, you get a birth plan and you get a birth plan. You look like you want a birth plan. Here's a birth plan for you. Any nurses want birth plans? I have plenty. I had my music. I had my ball. I had my this and that, you know, nothing went according to plan. But you know what? Eventually the kid came out. And I remember literally, and I remember being wheeled into the elevator, and I just asked whoever, I think it was probably my husband, the nurse, I don't even remember. And I was like, are you guys sure you want to let me go home with this kid? Like, I had never even changed a diaper before until the guy that I gave birth to. And I realized, that's when I realized, like, I planned for the birth, but now what?
Yeah.
Right? The birth is like an experience, but then what follows the birth is, you know, the rest of your life, essentially.
I mean, this is great birth control. Thank you.
I sometimes say, come and hang out with me for like, I mean, you guys are doing it now. I'm sure I'm providing a lot of people with some great birth control.
No, you're a wonderful parent. And I love what you're saying about, you know, the unpredictable, but also I'm really appreciating how much you just talked about transitions, because, you know, this is all happening around my meditation book about transitions. So I'm like, she's not plugging that on purpose, people. Yeah, I'm with you. You know, transitions are unpredictable and emotional. I cannot imagine what these women are going through, but I love you talking about it. And, you know, you have talked a little bit about how it's not about just preparing the mother, but it's about preparing everybody involved. What kind of offering do you share in that realm? Like any services or?
Yeah, I mean, there's lots of things popping up. Okay, there we go. I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to do something. So in the worksheet, like I said, there's lots of spaces to input, you know, whether it's a partner or a loved one. But I think the biggest thing, well, first of all, if you're a loved one and you're looking to provide some kind of service for an expecting friend or family, I always say that the best thing you can do is to gift them a postpartum planning session. If nothing else, gifting them a postpartum planning session can really set them up for a much more successful and more enjoyable postpartum experience. It's just one session that's a little bit longer than traditional session, where you go through the entire postpartum planning guide, worksheet, all that, with a master's level clinician who is a mom. All of our clinicians right now are also moms, so they've been there as well. And that way, when you enter into the postpartum period and you give birth and you have your baby and you're going home, you're no longer having that scary thought of now what? Mm-hmm. Because you've already answered that. You already have something in place, and you're not living in fear, because the fear of the unknown, right, is really anxiety provoking, especially, you know, now our society, women are having babies much later. And so by the time women are having babies now, they're often already pretty set in their lives, pretty set in their careers, pretty set in their schedule and their structure. And when you have a baby, all of that kind of is up in the air, which is really scary, right? When we like things really organized. So this is like a very nice way to help you plan and help, you know, that person that you love in your life more comfortably enter into their postpartum period.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. Well, Jane, I know that you have a house full of children that you need to.
No, I'm bored.
Now you're just hanging. So I'm going to let you go and do what you need to do. I want to thank you so much for fighting for it just now, to share what it is that you do out in the world. And I encourage everybody who knows someone who is having a baby to reach out to you, because you're such a calming presence.
Thank you so much. That means a lot, because I don't know how calm I've been during this time, but I really appreciate it. And it was my pleasure. And I hope I imparted some information onto you guys in between parenting all these kids in my house. And she's banging down the door right now. I don't know if you guys can hear that.
We're gonna let you do what you need to do to keep everyone alive. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
And we'll talk soon.
Okay, great. Thanks, guys. Bye.
Bye.
Congratulations, Jean Marie, on this launch of this new ebook. It's just fantastic that you were able to do this. You have always been an inspiration and a light in my life, and I'm so happy to have you in it. You have inspired so many people in this world, especially women, and just keep up the good work. You are just awesome.
Hello, everyone. Hi, I'm Christina Gamache. I'm a growth strategist for women business owners, and I teach them how to increase profitability, pay themselves, and save for the next chapter. And I do this through financial planning, investment management, and fractional CFO services. I'm so excited to introduce you to two true Renaissance powerhouses here today. We have Malik Yoba and Jean Marie Keevins. Malik Yoba, he is a 3-time NAACP Image Award winner and probably best known for his roles in Cool Runnings, Empire, and New York Undercover. He has proven himself to be much more than what first meets the eye. As an actor, writer, director, producer, musician, activist, educator, and inspirational speaker, his quest to live a purpose-filled life and not only entertain, but also educate old and young alike in communities across the world on the value of accountability, integrity, and leadership. And oh my gosh, we need that right now. He was shot at the age of 15, and this near-death experience in high school solidified his belief in personal and social responsibility and spurred him towards a life of service, creativity, volunteerism.
You can stop reading now, right?
No, people need to know this. I am like inspired by you, for real. He's made it his life mission ever since to use the arts as his weapon of choice. He's been recognized by or worked with US Presidents Bill Clinton, Barack Obama, the Congress of the United States, the Mayor of New York, NYPD, UNICEF, McDonald's Black Achievers, Hale House, the Ethiopian Children's Fund, and so many others. He's well sought after for inspirational speaking, and he presents workshops to corporations, prisons, colleges, universities, churches. And it's so wonderful to meet you, Malik. Your life is an inspiration for all of us. So thank you so much for being here, supporting these amazing women today.
Thank you, Christina.
And now I'd like you to introduce you to the hostess with the mostest, Jean Marie Keevins. I'm going to make you blush here, okay? So I first met Jean Marie through an online webinar last year. And I think we immediately connected. She reached out and we had virtual coffee from New York City, where you all are, to Anchorage, Alaska, where I am. And even in the middle of a pandemic, Jean Marie has been busy doing whatever she thinks is needed for her community. She's a woman of action, but a woman with a giant heart. So in the midst of this pandemic, she was putting her ideas into action for others and for you guys here today. She made face masks. She started Clarity Labs. She started a coaching and consulting business, and she taught and she gave more of herself than ever before. She's a true leader and does so with her heart on her sleeve. So if you look at her biography, it is also equally as impressive. I won't go through all of it today, but I did go in and find some testimonials that I wanted to share with you guys. And these are just some of the things that people say about Jean Marie, and I wholeheartedly agree. She's a guardian angel. She helped me move forward. She helped me find the confidence. And I love this one. She helped me open doors I thought were impossible to open. She brought my vision to life. She's incredibly professional, but also kind and humorous. So as you've heard, Jean Marie is not only an accomplished artist, business owner, and producer, she's the type of person who gives of herself in order to lift others up. And I want to emphasize today's event. Today is about her book launch that she turned into a collaboration of women entrepreneurs and champions. So today we celebrate all who are launching new and exciting initiatives. And I'm especially thrilled to introduce you to the one and only Jean Marie Keevins with her guest Malik Yoba.
Thank you, Christina. And with all of that, and you're right, you made me blush. I do want to also point out that Christina is celebrating the 1-year anniversary of her company that she launched during COVID. So well done, Christina. And thank you so much for insisting on introducing me, because you're right, I never would have done that. So thank you. Yeah, so today we are launching my new meditation ebook called 52 Simple Weekly Meditations to Guide You Through Life's Transitions. And this book came out of COVID. At the top of COVID, I was really struggling, like so many, and people were calling me for help. And I was like, I don't have anything left in the tank for you right now. I want to, but I don't. And I started meditating on that. And what do you do with that when you believe that your life is meant to be spent in service and you don't have it? And so I started putting those meditations online, and this like groundswell started to happen where, you know, I would see 2 people like something, and I'm like, okay. But then I would get private messages from people I haven't heard from in years. And I was like, wow, people are paying attention. They need it. They need to question things. They need to get excited about things. They need to own their sadness about things. And I've been somebody who spent my life in transition. I think we all do. And so I just decided to put it together and make it my next endeavor. And part of that came from talking with you. I was hoping that we could talk a little bit about taking care of your spirit and what that looks like.
Ooh, Nelly.
Let's get in there. Let's get in there.
Yeah. So one of the things I did today was I walked barefoot in the grass in Prospect Park as part of my daily walks, health walks. I was like, you know, I just need to be connected to, you know, to source, to nature. And it's something about walking, connecting to your city, to your space, to your neighborhood, whatever. But literally just being very present, enjoying the breeze, feeling the sun on your face, listening to the birds, just giving thanks. So been dealing with a lot of loss and health issues. And so death and just, you know, to your point about when you believe you have a life of service and you have nothing in the tank, what do you do? And sometimes it's like when you're driving and you see your car, it's approaching E, but you know, even if you're on E, you might have 15, 20 miles left when it's showing you E. But sometimes you can feel like that gauge is getting close to E. So what do you do? And I think it's always just simply remembering to breathe, to be present, like truly in the moment. Because a lot of times, you know, stuff we're stressing out over is the past or the present or the future. It's generally not the present. Yeah. Because we have, if you're able to like think about the past or the future, like, you know, you're usually in a safe environment. Mm-hmm. So today was walking in the grass and feeling connected and just gratitude, you know, and then honoring the losses with living and living fully. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. You just, we're talking about just breathing, right? And the minute you said it, I took a breath. You know, sometimes we just need to be reminded, and trying to stay ahead of that can be a job, you know, a job in itself. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was talking to somebody the other day about just the transitions that are happening and stuff, and I was thinking about a conversation that we were having where I was like spinning out, like I was just letting it fly, and you said, "Where's center?" And I was like, sometimes that's all you need, you know, is that like moment of like just be there for a second.
Yeah.
You know, for me, that this COVID process has been a daily reminder of that every day. Like, all right, you're awake. How lucky are you?
Yeah. I mean, having survived COVID. And I think the other thing that's going on is that we're sharing the collective trauma energetically. So even if we aren't articulating it, and we do experience a lot of the articulation of it, you know, whether it's posts online or debate, whatever it might be, right? This whole sort of aspect of who we are has been unearthed, whether people are debating about vaccines, mask mandates, like this other side of who we are that nothing else in our lifetime has inspired the kinds of conversation. So there's that, the noise that we can hear and we can recognize. And then there's the stuff that happens. It's like when you remember early days in the pandemic, trying to go to the supermarket and people weren't talking and they weren't looking at each other and everybody was afraid and nothing was said, but there was a palpable fear. And I think that collectively we're carrying that, right? And I think a lot of it is, say, social media, because you're just scrolling along. Ah, man, this person died too. Ah, another one died. Ah, man, this fucking earthquake hit this, or this pandemic, or this flood, or this fire. And so there's this bombardment of this information. And then there's the personal survival. Will I make it to another day? And so I think we're all being asked to connect deeper with self, which essentially means with source, and however you slice it, God, whatever it is that you connect with. It's, you know, we realize, you know, how insignificant we are, but how significant we are at the same time, and finding that balance. And so, again, I'm in a period where it's very, very real for me, you know, I mean, for all of us, but like life and death, it's like right there, you know, staring it in the face. And yeah, being asked to experience myself in a different way, and don't even know fully what that is yet.
Right. It's
But
saying,
taking it moment by moment and saying, okay, in this moment, am I okay? In the next moment, am I okay? Yeah, you are. You're safe. You're good. You know? Yeah.
Sometimes I think why you and I connect, other than we're both absurd, is that we both say yes to the exploration.
Right.
You know, like, oh, this is where we are. Okay. Right. Where am I going? Or do I need to just be where I am right now?
Right.
Am I looking forward or am I holding tight? Okay, great. That's where I am. Fine. I don't know that everybody has been imparted with those skills. I think it's a learned skill for some.
1000%. No, I think for all. We don't, you know, human beings, like the stuff that's innate is fight or flight.
Yes.
Oh, shit just freaking me out. I'm out.
Right.
Scared, I'm out. Survive. But then the learned part is like recognizing the innate, you know, sort of instinctual response. But then there's the benefit of being human is the ability to process and question and consider and ponder. You go, oh, okay. So walk in the grass, it'll do you good.
Yeah.
The big one.
What I love
When
about
it's still warm out, at least we can do it in New York. I don't know about our friend in Alaska, Christina.
I don't know if she's walking in the grass right now. What I love about that is that you're also touching on celebrating, right? Like when we connect, we celebrate where we are, what is true. And I love that in this time, in this season of my life, the people that I'm surrounding myself with, you know, we both have massive networks of people, and that is a blessing. But there are moments where that can be too much. And the people who I'm surrounded by, or I'm choosing to be surrounded by, are the people who live in my truth with me. who,
Mhm.
when I am a goofball, they are there. And when I am deep in it and feeling it, they are there. They are authentic and being who I need in themselves, right? They're bringing their whole selves and showing up and allowing me to just be. And I hope I'm doing the same. You know, there's those days that you're like, oh, I didn't deliver. But all you can do is bring what you have in that moment. But I think what's really interesting is that truth, right? When you talk about walking in the grass, you know, I was just saying to somebody earlier, whenever I'm stressed out, I have this pattern of breaking glasses. I cannot hold a glass. I knock them over, I break them washing the dishes. They're like everywhere. And I have been
Isn't that like a trait of being Irish?
Thank you. Just go there.
Alcohol involved? Probably.
No.
Yeah, there was. Come
No.
on.
This is
You're
wonderful.
among friends. You're among friends.
Yeah. So, not that there wouldn't be, but not those glasses. It's everywhere, dude. I break them all the time. And I pulled out these plastic cups and I started laughing because this is not funny, but funny. I cleaned my entire department and I feel so good. And I take my shoes off when I walk in the door, as we do in New York.
And step on
And
some glass.
you know it. There's 3 pieces in my feet right now. Please figure out how to get them out. But every time I step, I'm like, you know what, Jean Marie? You were being reminded to slow down, and you didn't. Right? I know that that's when that's happening.
Right.
I know it. When I lose
Plus,
my
you got to get glass in your foot to like be reminded. But hey,
I mean, I shouldn't need that. I lose my keys. I lost my keys the other day. Slow down. Slow down. You know? And that's why I want to see you the other day. Like, gotta just like bring it in.
right.
Because my brain was on fire.
Well, congratulations on getting the book done, by the way.
Thank you. Who knew?
Turning a thought into a thing.
I did it. I did the thing, dude.
You did. You did.
I'm very excited about it.
Proud of you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I wasn't feeling like I was finishing anything. I was like,
That's important.
yeah.
And that's I think that's part of it too, especially for creative people, to complete things.
Yes.
Be able to check things off the to-do list, to have that sense of victory and the satisfaction of seeing something through, rinse and repeat.
Yes.
And that keeps you motivated and inspired. And when you do get in a funk, sometimes even just working through the funk, despite how you feel. God, I'm not inspired. I don't know what I'm doing. This sucks. I suck. But you just keep going, and then you have those happy accidents, new discoveries, and you're like, wow, I'm so glad that I pushed through when I really felt like shit, because now I have this.
Yeah.
And so that's what I know as a creative being, and choosing a life of an artist and an entrepreneur and all of its manifestations, which essentially means we're always dreaming, always reaching, always needing to keep the faith because we don't know.
Yes.
And then things manifest, and then you keep going and something else, and then that's what, you know. So it's, I think we're being asked again, like, because of the time, to go even deeper.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah.
Would you touch on, we both love real estate porn. Will you touch on your endeavor?
Buildings are my thing.
Yeah, I know. Will you talk about that a little bit? Because you know that's inspiring to me, and I look forward to being able to contribute in that way. But can you talk about how that has been part of your
Real estate?
spirit? Well, yeah, but part of your spiritual calling has been attached to that.
Well, that's pretty big. I was looking, like, there's a few real estate books behind me. Well, it's interesting because as I was talking about the just keep going. So one of the projects that I am involved in as it relates to real estate and speaks to what I think you mean when you say a spiritual calling is the Real Estate Mixtape, which is my doc series on real estate development and my journey into development, my desire to expose other people, particularly people of color, Black people specifically, who who have been denied participation from a government policy perspective for generations, which isn't widely known American history, but it impacts everything we do every day. Because the reality is we're all in the real estate business, either we're the consumer or the owner, but we're all connected to real estate, whether we think of ourselves in those terms or not. So the doc series is intended to, number one, show Black folk, and in some cases Latino and Asian, but primarily Black people, in spaces we normally don't see them in the ecosystem of the real estate business. So whether it's developers, engineers, architects, we see construction workers because you can visibly see them walking around the city. But a lot of times people don't know who's financing these projects, who's designing them, who are the interior designers. So that's important. And I remember working on this project, which in my mind is a collage. It's an art film that happens to be about real estate, because I didn't want it to be academic. I wanted it to be inspirational, and aspirational, but not too, like I said, academic and heavy. I want it to be something you can press play, be inspired, be moved by some music or a cool shot, and be like, oh shit, I learned some, I didn't know that. Oh, cool. Right. And I remember like working on this thing and talking to a friend of mine who was stuck creatively. And he saw it the first episode. I think I was working on the second episode. And I was like, bro, I just feel stuck creatively. I think what I'm doing is like shit. Like, I don't know, because I'm experimenting. Right, here's the information. I shot it. In my mind, when I was shooting, it was kind of like I'm Anthony Bourdain traveling from the Hamptons to like Newburgh, New York, and all over the city with these 7 young people I'm exposing to the business. And it was sort of like shoot and then figure out. You have an idea what the stories are going to be, but while you're shooting, other things happen. But my friend says to me, he goes, I really love that first episode, how you did that and what you did and how you present the information. And it really shows your point of view as a director. And he goes, the reason why you think it sucks and the reason why you're struggling is because you're creating something that never existed before. And you're creating art and you're doing something groundbreaking and revolutionary. So of course you feel that way. And I remember like just thanking him. I was like, bro, that's exactly what I needed to hear today. And I just got busy and started editing again. And then just really leaned into, one, I call it the real estate mixtape for a reason, because there are no rules in terms of how I can present this information. As long as I meet my objective, which is showing Black people in these spaces with the sole purpose of inspiring other Black and brown people to say, oh, I didn't even know that was a job. I didn't know I can do that. Oh, I thought like, oh, it's they. Here they come building. Here they come. They. Well, who the hell is they?
Right.
And how do we become they? So telling those stories is important. Educating the people is important. Inspiring them. I have a teacher in New York at a school on the Lower East Side, a high school. She's actually developing a curriculum around this doc series, which I love because I shared it with her and she lost her mind because she's already teaching young people, her students, about the importance of understanding their relationship to the built environment. And so I expect that we'll be able to scale that at, ultimately to get it to every student in New York, because I think it's important. Yeah. Like no one is really teaching young people about this on purpose. Right. And we're going to be the ones, and people younger than us are going to be the ones to inherit the city. So they should really have a better understanding of what's going on and who's making it happen. And then personally on the development side itself, I had to get involved. My first development project I tried to do in New York I was 17 and I tried to get a BMX track built in Central Park. I didn't think about it as development at the time. I just knew that there was nowhere for me and my friends to ride our bikes. And we had to ride over the bridge to go to, North Bergen, New Jersey to race at Braddock Park or race at the Jersey City Armory, but there was nothing in New York. And so I met with the Parks Department at 17 and proposed building a BMX track, and dudes looking at me like, yeah, okay, yeah, no, never gonna happen. But he appreciated my gumption. But I just knew that I wanted to make the city a better place. I wanted to improve the quality of life. I didn't know to call it that. I just knew kids need a place to ride their bike. I love racing. We should have these spots. So I'm happy to see, like, as years pass, there's many more skate parks in the city. Yeah. And those didn't exist at all in the 80s when I was meeting with the Parks Department. But growing up in the South Bronx and Harlem in the 60s and 70s when shit was burnt out, and I go downtown around my white friends and they live by Park Avenue and Fifth Avenue and Central Park, and I'm like, why does our shit look fucked up uptown? I want to do something about it. And so I asked a lot of questions, you know, got to meet some developers, let them know my ambition, and I was able to get a seat at the table, which I still have. And so the first, you know, aside from like buying personal real estate, personal homes, and, you know, not that I was flipping them, but, you know, you sell them over, you know, I never bought personal homes to flip, but I was more interested in development and, you know, multifamily. And so having an opportunity to be involved in a project in Baltimore called Center West, where the first phase, we built 2 buildings, 264 units that are 100% leased up, 20% affordable, 80% market rate, workforce housing, Class A, luxury in an area that hasn't seen new development in 50 years, Black developers, showing by example that it's possible for us to be in this space. As hard as hell. It's not easy. Access to capital is always going to be an issue, at least short term. Hopefully things get better moving forward, but that's important to me. Yeah. And the spiritual side of it is, it's still a service. It's still saying, how do I occupy a space and make it better than it was when I found it? How can I be of service to lift someone else up? And providing a home where people feel safe, in a neighborhood where they can feel safe with, you know, great lighting, where you can walk your dog at night, in a city that is often portrayed in the media as just destitute and, you know, crime ridden. And there's a lot of great people that live in that city and live in the county and the state of Maryland, and, you know, coming from DC in some cases, or New York, that want to see the city win. And are doing what they can to improve it. And so no different than projects I'm pursuing in New York, same thing. So I hope that answers your question.
It does. Congratulations, by the way. I don't know if I ever said that to you about filling that building. I know that was quite a feat. I did enjoy one day seeing you on social sweeping the street outside, because that is where it's at, right? It's being in every way.
And part of it's being Virgo. I just don't understand why people throw shit out the window of their car and just litter. Like,
what is that?
And I also understand, we got to teach. Like, I was out there with one of the employees. Like, you come to work, who's a doorman. This may not be your job and your job, but I want you to know you're the first person that people see after they walk from the street. If you walk in the street and you see a potato chip bag in the landscaping, pick it up. Because that's the way I was raised. My father was that dude. I didn't put that there. You live here, pick it up. And so wanting to teach not just the residents, but the employees, and especially when you're dealing with people who don't come from much, from a financial perspective or education background, opportunity background, and you really taking a fish out of water.
Yes.
And you're saying, I know you lived in, you know, you might have been in a homeless shelter. Yeah. You might have, that we do have a formerly homeless woman that before she moved in, she was homeless. And, you know, with a job, 2 jobs actually, you know, and, you know, sometimes you have to go that extra mile to teach people. I know you might be used to piss in the hallways, or dog poop, or like that's not what we do here.
Right.
And when they see you, and my partner lives in the property, when I'm there, they see me. It just changes their perception of what's possible, and they tell you, wow, I never thought I'd meet somebody like you guys that like could build something like this, and make me feel like I can do more.
Yeah.
And that's, I think that also is the spiritual side of it. Like, it's not just for profit. It's not just business, but it's the business of human development.
There you go.
Not just real estate development.
There you go. It's funny when you said that about the chip bag. When I was a kid, my mother used to pull over the car and make us get out and pick up the trash. And I didn't really think about it until one day a friend threw something out the window, and my mother pulled out the car and said, "Get that." And she was like, "But I don't need it anymore." My mom said, "It's my planet too. Get out of the car, you can walk home." And my friend just looked at me, and I was like, "Oh no, this happens to me all the time." And I didn't throw anything out of the car. But from that, my respect for all things living around me is unmistakable, because it was infused in me. And when I don't see it, rather than getting angry with people, I, in the past few years, have started thinking, well, okay, where did that come from? How do we change that? How do we teach that? There's a gentleman who's been walking around the neighborhood that we ran into, a young kid who needs help, and he needs money, and I buy him food sometimes and stuff.
Chubby kid?
Yes. And
I'm very confused. I'm not convinced he's hungry.
Thank you. Thank you.
Especially since we have community fridges in the neighborhood.
We have a lot of them.
Yeah.
And the other day I ran into him, and I didn't have anything on me. Sometimes I give him an apple or something, We're done with you get $1. And I was thinking about it, and I thought, you know what I'm going to offer him next time he comes to me? I'm going to offer him coaching. I'm going to tell him, I will meet you in that park every Tuesday until you have a job, until you have a home, until everything is straight. And if you say no to that, then I can't do anything for you. But I'm going to show up for you in that way.
Well, you're going somewhere, because there's no way you could be that big.
Thank you.
And it's been a while. It's been over a year. Like, I started seeing that kid last year. Yeah.
Yeah. But what's going on there, Because he's a kid.
Yeah, he's or he could be 35. Black don't crack. So,
Hey,
he looks like he's 19. He's 19 or 35.
Yeah, well, you said it, but I'm looking good for my white self. So we'll just.
You are. I like,
Thank you. I'm going to take that. So, my dear friend, I am so grateful for you. I don't even know if we talked about the topic at hand completely, but we do. I don't know, but we do on the regular.
Topic again?
Taking care of your spiritual practice.
Started with walking in the grass.
There we go.
Making sure you meditate. Making sure you breathe.
Yes.
This is the recap?
This is why I need you.
This is the recap?
This is the recap.
Yeah. Recognizing that thing that keeps your blood warm. I was at the wake of a friend of mine who just passed last week. And it's interesting, wakes, because they do a job of trying to present the physical form of the person you knew to the best of their ability. And I've never seen it done right. You're never going to look like the person. It just looks like, a weird doll or something. What was interesting is that above the casket, there were these videos and still images, actually. And how even in a still image, the spirit was still alive. And if he's smiling, you felt his life force, even if it's a still image. And it's fascinating, so that having that experience, like, wow, I'm looking at a body and then I'm looking at the photograph, and the photograph has given me so much more life. Obviously, because he was alive when they captured that moment. And then the stories that people shared and the energy and the love, and it's palpable. And so the spirit also lives within us that is still living. But that thing that keeps the blood warm, so the body's laying there cold, that thing is gone. That's the part that we have to take care of, that we can't see. We can feel it, we can recognize it when we experience it, but like the wind, we can't see it. And that's the part that's hard, I think, for a lot of people, because you can't see it, but you feel it. You know when you wake up and you feel alive and ready to take on the day. You know when you wake up and you feel despondent or unsure, what have you. And so it's recognizing that this is how the spirit moves.
Yeah.
And then what do we need to do this?
Yeah.
So we're never too low and we're never too high, but we're right somewhere calibrated so that we can ride those waves with relative peace in our heart and our mind. And in order to do that, one, you got to recognize the spirit that is there, that even though you can't see it, that it exists, and then it needs to be nurtured. And like, so to recap, the breathing reminds you when you take in that air, you are alive, that blood is still warm, that spirit is still within you. And so part of it is just talking to it, acknowledging it, saying thank you, staying in gratitude. That's the other thing too. When you feel like shit, make a gratitude list. Because that list is always going to be longer. The things you can actually, if you take the time, because it's easy to make the things that you don't like, that list really long. But when you stop and really think about all the things to be grateful for, oh, my legs still work today, my eyesight, my hearing, oh, I can still taste today. Oh, my brain is functioning, I don't have fog, I can, which from being post-COVID, how, how challenging that is. So I think this is a good time, because then we can do this kind of thing. We can all learn and share together.
Yeah, I love what you just said, and I know we're wrapping up, but the visual, I love a good visual. This line, to me, that's presence, right? When you hit that stasis, you're present. You're there for whatever it is that's happening in your whole self. Those are those moments, and every time you hit it, if you can embrace it and celebrate it and be in it, wow, like where do we go from there? We get big. And God willing, and I'm not just saying this to you, like I'm saying this to anybody who's watching, but in those moments, not only are we embracing who we are, but that's where you can get silly and have some fun, right? Like when you're not really there, you're not gonna get to have some fun. And to me, those moments are like,
oh, you're gonna miss a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's when the things appear in art, in music, all of it, acting. Like, because you're so present, you allow the space to receive. So this is good though. This is good stuff. I think it's important. Because a lot of people don't have a practice.
Yeah, well, that's
just sort of wake up and go through it and stumble through life. And so this is good that you're doing this.
And sometimes
I know where it comes from for you. So
yeah, it's real.
This is what you call turning poison into medicine.
Thanks, friend. And sometimes we have to reinvent our norms, right? We have to reinvent our practice, and that's cool too.
Yep.
So thank you.
You're welcome.
I look forward to seeing you in person. What, 10 minutes? No, just
10 minutes. What? I'm just reading the comments. Okay, buy your book, buy your book, buy your book to buy Jean. Okay.
Those are supportive people right there.
Someone's pushing the book. Yeah.
And they like us. So that's nice.
Let's see.
They like you.
Who are these people? That's really great. My mom is a realtor. Everyone should know about real estate. Yes. And everyone should read the book called The Color of Law. Richard Rothstein. In fact.
Yeah, put it in there. And I'll put it in the follow-up because I know that that's your
well, this one
well-posted book.
This one can help folks feel like they are the smartest one. Richard Rothstein. Great, great, great book on how the United States government policy segregated this country and created all kinds of stuff
things that
that we've inherited.
I was going to say things that we continue to live in.
Everyone should know about real estate. Yes. Take a walk in the grass. Take a deep breath. Yeah. Yes, grateful for reminders. Hiking and centering the top of mountains in Alaska. That's Christina. Love you, Malik. Jean-Marie. Thank you. Thank you. This was brilliant. Bless you both. Okay. Just bought 3 copies for my friends. I'm assuming that's your book that they bought 3 copies.
Otherwise, Richard is going to be sending you a nice check. All right, my friend. We need to wrap up. Ladies and gentlemen, let's thank Malik Yoba for being here, also being a steady force in my life, which I'm grateful for.
Good stuff, girl. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Have a great night, everyone.
Peace. Love you.
Love you too.